सर पण आले का?
फोन लावलाय मॅडम त्यांना. ढवळे सर सुरू करूयात. मॅम सुरू करायचं.
येस सर, येस
येस येस.
Hello and good afternoon to one and all. Welcome on screen to all the dignitaries. We are here for the inauguration of the Ph.D. coursework in geography, and we are privileged to have no other than the Honorable Vice Chancellor, who himself is an earth
सर आवाज
scientist.
येत नाहीये.
आवाज येत नाही?
आवाज येत, हा येस.
आता येतोय?
हो येस येतोय सर, येतोय.
Okay. Hello and welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome on screen to all the dignitaries. We are here for the inauguration of the PhD coursework in geography, and we are privileged to have no other than the Honorable Vice Chancellor, who himself is an earth scientist and has worked extensively on Himalayan geomorphology. We could not have had a better start, as the second eminent speaker for the day is going to be Professor Praveen Saptarshi, who is a professor emeritus also. I welcome all the dignitaries and now invite Professor Sunil Gaikwad for his welcome speech. Gaikwad sir, you can proceed, sir. गायकवाड सर.
गायकवाड सर म्यूट आहात तुम्ही, अनम्यूट करायला पाहिजे सरांना.
गायकवाड सर.
सरांनी अनम्यूट करायला पाहिजे.
नाही, ते दोन अकाउंट्स वर आहेत मॅडम. दुसऱ्या अकाउंट वर.
येस 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 येस. आता कदाचित येईल.
गायकवाड सर प्लीज प्लीज. हा येस.
नमस्कार.
Yeah, my voice was something. Okay, I'm very happy to warmly welcome Vice Chancellor, Professor Nitin Karmalkar, Professor Emeritus, and our beloved teacher, Dr. Praveen Saptarshi, and our principal, Professor Savita Datar. My dear colleagues, friends, and student friends, I am here to introduce department profile in short, and very little about PhD coursework to be conducted from today. Our department established in 1955 for UG courses for 3 streams, science, arts, and commerce. Later in around 1975, PG courses has already been started with specialization of economic geography and geomorphology. It has become a research center recognized research center of Savitribai Phule Pune University in 1980s. Geoinformatics specialization started in 2005. Ours is the only department which is having BSc and MSc on aided basis. Very special activity of our department is a GeoFest, which I can say it's an academic gathering of teachers and students every year. Various competitions are conducted to motivate the students in general knowledge, PPT, Rangoli, geographical photographs, and etc. Department has successfully run certificate course in remote sensing and GIS for last 15 years. We have well-equipped computer, GIS and remote sensing lab, as well as soil analysis laboratory. Major courses offered by our department are geostatistics, multivariate statistics, disaster management, watershed management, regional planning, and tourism. Our teaching learning method is always field-oriented. Various surveys are conducted in the field at village level with the help of GPS, total station, theodolite, etc. Soil analysis is always, samples are again per year. They are conducted for TYBSc and MSc and PhD students. They are subsequently analyzed in the laboratory. In spite of this, industrial visits, agricultural farm visits, and village surveys are conducted regularly annually. Research-oriented learning is a major focus of our department. And faculties in our department are almost more than 20. They are engaged in research and consultancy project activities. Dear all, let me introduce about the course. Earlier, PhD course was conducted in 2016. Now, we are conducting PhD course this year into two sections. First one is a research methodology, and this will be followed by the subject-specific advanced level courses. Total duration of the course work would be 4 months, approximate for successful participants. 5 guides presently in the department, with a total of more than 10 research students are doing their research. I am sure this number will certainly increase in the round announced yesterday. I take this opportunity here to wish all the best for the course, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that brief introduction about the department and the coursework. I would now invite Dr. Nitin Munde to please introduce the chief guest, Honorable Professor Nitin Karmalkar.
Respected dignitaries on the online dais, all faculty members, research scholars, and my dear friends, a very good afternoon to you all. I am Dr. Nitin Munde, working as an assistant professor in Department of Geography, S.P.College, Pune. It is a great honor for me to introduce the chief guest of this inaugural function of today's program. Here I am going to introduce the most distinguished personality, well-known scientist and good administrator, Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Nitin Karmalkar, sir, Vice Chancellor, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Dr. Karmalkar, sir, was born on January 1962 in a small coastal village of Sindhudurga district, Maharashtra. Professor Karmalkar, sir, completed his MSc and postdoctoral degree in geology subject in University of Pune. Professor Karmalkar, sir, has worked as a teacher, researcher, and academic administrator in a professional career spanning more than 20 years. He has made significant research contribution in the field of igneous petrology, geochemistry, environmental geology, and with special emphasis on the high altitude ophiolite from Himalayas and Deccan Plateau or Deccan Traps. And therefore, he is the recipient of the Professor C. Nagana Gold Medal of the Mineralogical Society of India is to be the awarded to a young earth scientist of India towards his contributions in the field of alkaline magmatism of the Kutch region, Gujarat. He has successfully guided 4 PhD students, and recently 6 research scholars are pursuing the doctoral and postdoctoral work under his supervision. Sir has published more than 60 research papers in national and international peer-reviewed journals. And Sir has also edited 3 research volumes and written several articles in a local language for popularization of the subject, particularly the science field. And he is an august fellow of many professional bodies or institutions, such as the Geological Society of India, Bengaluru, then Maharashtra Academy of Science, Pune, and other. Sir is a student-centric and easy to approach fellows. So, hence, the Savitribai Phule Pune University has launched the different courses like the postdoctoral fellowship program under which able the guidance of young research scholars. Over the years, he has strongly shoulders various responsibilities of acting vice chancellors of Solapur University, Solapur, from December 2017 to May 2018, and as a vice chancellor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur, between June to October 2020. And Professor Karmalkar sir has been appointed as the chairman of Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleoscience, Lucknow, by the government of India. And in addition to this, Maharashtra Vigyan Vardhini, a parent organization of Agarkar Research Institute, Pune, has nominated as a vice president of the institute for the period of 3 years. Recently, Sir has been appointed as a acting vice chancellor of the Maharashtra University of Health Science, Nashik, from February 2021, in addition to his own duties as a vice chancellor in SPPU, Pune. Under the dynamics leadership of Professor Karmalkar sir, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune has progressed to the slot of 651 to 700 in the recently announced the QS World University, moving from up to the 800 to 1000 slot in the previous year. And this is the significant achievement for a state university such as the Savitribai Phule Pune University. HRD National Institution Ranking Framework, NIRF, has ranked SPPU at a 9th position among the Indian universities, and in the overall ranking of all the higher education institutions in India, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune has been placed at a bright 19th position, and it was announced as India fastest rising public university among the traditional universities. So all these initiatives have resulted Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, is the fast emerging as a premium institute of higher education at the national and international level under his proficient and dynamic leadership. So it is an absolutely honor to have you with us, and I invite him to share his visionary thought along with his speech. So once again, I welcome all to this momentous event. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir, for that elaborate and, of course, a very distinguished introduction to sir. Now I would invite Dr. Sunil Thakre to introduce the second speaker, Professor Praveen Saptarshi, Professor Emeritus.
Okay, sir. May I audible now, sir?
Yes, yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. Sunil Thakre, working as an assistant professor in Department of Geography I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of the Department of Geography, S.P.College, Pune, for the Ph.D. coursework inaugural program. Very special welcome and special thanks to our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nitin Karmalkar, sir, today's resource person, Honorable Professor Praveen Saptarshi, sir, Honorable Principal, Professor Savita Datar, Madam, Departmental Head, respected Professor Sunil Gaikwad, sir, Ph.D. Coursework Coordinator, Professor Manojkumar Devane, sir, Dr. Vilas Ugle, sir, Management Council Member, SPPU Pune, entire faculty members of Department of Geography, and all my fellow participants. It is a matter of pride and privilege for me to introduce today's resource person, respected Professor Praveen Saptarshi, sir. Professor Saptarshi, sir, has completed postgraduate degree in geography and doctoral degree from Savitribai Phule, Pune University. Recently, he is an emeritus professor at the Department of Sustainability Management in the Indian Institute of Cost and Management Studies and Research, Pune, since November 2018. He was the UGC Emeritus Fellow, Department of Environmental Science, Savitribai Phule, Pune University from 2016 to 18, and also visiting professor at Salisbury University, Maryland, USA. He has a coordinator for study abroad course in India, Salisbury University. Professor Saptarshi is a former head of this department and also Department of Environmental Science, SPPU Pune. Professor Saptarshi has worked as a teacher, researcher, and administrator in his tenure for more than 40 years. He has successfully supervised 51 research students for their doctoral degree and 7 MPhil scholars. He has completed more than 15 research projects and 14 consultancy projects funded by government and non-government bodies. Professor Saptarshi is a well-known geographer in climatology, economic geography, agriculture geography, and environmental science. He has published more than 150 research articles in national and international research journals. Professor Saptarshi has written 14 books and he has the editor of 5 research journals. He has successfully organized more than 70 conferences, seminars, workshops, and refresher courses and deliver more than 200 invited talks, lectures, and keynote address in various colleges and universities. Professor Saptarshi is actively involved in academic and research along with constantly guiding various facets of academia, being a part of member of board of studies, member of research and recognized committee, member of science faculty, member of BUTR for geography, earth science and environmental science for various universities in Maharashtra and out of Maharashtra. He is the General Secretary of Maharashtra Bhugol Shastra Parishad, Pune, is a professional organization dedicated to development of geography and chief editor of peer-reviewed International Journal of Maharashtra Bhugol Shastra Sanshodhan Patrika. Over the years, he has strongly shouldered several academic and administrative responsibilities, including NSS Program Officer, in charge of various departmental consultancy programs for industries, member of Core Group Committee for Samartha Bharat Abhiyan, SPPU Pune. He has visited the USA, UK, Australia, Bolivia, Peru, Mexico, Germany, and Norway countries towards the academic purpose. He has a significant contribution to community development right from a young age to till date. Therefore, Sir has a recipient of awards such as the Best Teacher Award by the Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune Municipal Corporation, and Bharatiya Jain Sangatna College, Pune. Lastly, respected Sir, you have always inspired others to dream more, to learn more, to work harder, and to grow up. So, you have always been an inspiration to us. It's an absolute honor to have you with us, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome you once again. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Thackeray, sir, for your introduction. Of course, we are privileged to have these two illustrious luminaries with us today. Before we move to the lecture by the chief guest, I would invite Professor Savita Datar, our Incharge principal, to say a few words about the function. Thank you.
Respected chief guest and lead speaker, Professor Dr. Nitin Karmalkar, Vice Chancellor, Savita Pune University, former head of the department, Geography Department, Professor Dr. Saptarshi sir, Dr. Sunil Gaikwad sir, head of the Department of Geography, as well as Research Centers Coordinator at S.P.College, Dr. Manojkumar sir, all my colleagues and student friends. I welcome you all on behalf of Shikshan Prasarak Mandali, Sir Parshuram Bhau College, for the inaugural function organized by Department of Geography, Postgraduate Teaching and Research Center at SP College today. So it is a very privileged thing for me to welcome Dr. Nitin Karmalkar and Dr. Praveen Saptarshi as lead speakers for the series of lectures which are arranged in the PhD course. Department of Geography at SP College is the only department where UG, PG both are granted departments, and the department has a legacy of guides and research and good research students and the systematic work which is done at the department. So arrangement of this PhD coursework actually also is one of such activity. All of us know that we are passing through a very unique situation actually because of lockdown on account of corona pandemic, and every year and every time actually the coursework is arranged in the offline pattern, and pleasure of teaching and learning offline is something else all of us really know. But in spite of such a situation, we at SP College are using it as an opportunity and have decided to arrange coursework at the research centers, various research centers which are there in the college. And I'm very happy to see that there is an overwhelming response for this coursework which is arranged. And I'm sure that the coursework will be conducted in a very systematic fashion. It will be completed during the stipulated time. The students will be immensely benefited from the coursework, and definitely it will be a great thing that they will complete it within time on their way of completing their PhD. So I really appreciate efforts of the department, head of the department, Gaikwad sir, as well as Manojkumar sir, who is coordinator for research centers, that they organize this coursework within a given time, have made it open for the students from other places also. And I'm very much happy to see that there is a overwhelming response for this coursework. So I'm sure that the coursework will be very nicely conducted. At the end, the examination as per the required guidelines will be conducted. And as I talked with Manojkumar sir, if at all we get an opportunity, we are very optimistic that we will also conduct some part of field work during this coursework if we can do it offline. So I wish all the best for the entire coursework, and I'm sure that it will be a grand success. Thank you very much, Dr. Karmalkar, for being with us. Thank you, Saptarshi sir, for being the lead speaker for this coursework. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for those encouraging words. Your encouraging words always drive us to achieve higher heights in academics. I would now invite Honorable Professor Nitin Karmalkar to deliver his address. Thank you.
Devne sir, respected principal, Dr. Savita Datar, the lead speaker for today's function, my own senior colleague and friend, Dr. Praveen Saptarshi, the head of Geography Department, Dr. Gaikwad, Dr. Thakre, Dr. Ugule sir, and fellow participants. It is indeed a pleasure to be part of this program, which is happening in online mode because of the obvious reason, the pandemic situation basically that we are passing through, and because of which most of the things are happening in an online mode. When it comes to earth science is basically a field subject, and there are limitations in online mode. We got to be in the field, we got to be talking to each other, we got to be observing things, and that is what normally earth science is all about. Geology, geography, environmental science, atmospheric science, all these are various verticals that come under earth science system. And being a student of geology for last almost 40 years, I am reminded of my old days. When I joined for my Ph.D. way back in 1984, perhaps I belonged to the first batch wherein the coursework was made compulsory. I distinctly remember it was B.G. Bide who was then Vice Chancellor. And then I belonged to the first batch wherein I had to undergo the Ph.D. coursework. Of course, doing a Ph.D., many a times it is those who are in teaching community, obviously it is for them it is a more or less a mandatory thing. But for me, it was a passion. Like I never, in fact, looked for any job after completing my master's. My aims were fixed that I wanted to do my PhD. And in fact, the guide also I had decided almost a year before when I was in first year of master's. I had thought of who I should work with. And accordingly, I started understanding more about basically the subject which I loved the most, the igneous petrology, a branch of geology wherein obviously more of field work is involved, and therein you try to understand about the evolutionary aspects of a particular rock type. I decided to choose basically area more in the Himalayan part, wherein I looked at some peculiar rock types which to an extent represent the ocean floor. And that ocean floor obviously that existed almost 45, 60, 50 millions before time between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate. The Thetis ocean that existed and the ocean floor of that Thetis ocean, which to an extent after the collision of the Indian continent subcontinent with that of the Eurasian subcontinent, a sliver of the oceanic crust to great extent got abducted on the adjoining continental margin, what are called as ophiolites. So basically, that was my passion to look at the entire evolutionary aspects of the Himalayan region. And that is what I decided to work on, and the guide was fixed. But when I started working on it, obviously the first thing is the bibliography, that you do the literature survey. And that is perhaps is the most primary thing, which to an extent actually tell you more about what is the kind of work that is happening, the present trend in which what people are looking at, what different aspects basically are still not unraveled or still not solved. And those happens to be your research statements. So accordingly, you have to choose your research basically objectives or research statement as such. So bibliography is the foremost important thing perhaps when you join for a research activity, a PhD. As a PhD student, you need to in fact actually do extensive literature survey. And that is what has become part of your research methodology also. What is research methodology? Research methodology, in fact, it teaches you ABC of how to do your research, how to go about it. In fact, many times there is no guidance that happens. I was fortunate to have my own guide who in fact initially told me that for a 1.5 years time, you have to be on your own. You have to read. You have to understand your problem. And then we'll think about basically what should be the objectives of the research that we intend to undertake. So he left me on my own, and that is how basically self-learning actually makes you understand things better rather than every time the kind of spoon feeding that goes on. That many a time the research problem is decided by your own guide. Many times half the thing has been done by research guide. And just as a tick mark activity, we do most of our work. That should not be the way. The real way is basically understanding in methodology, understanding basically various different aspects, understanding about the gaps in a particular problem and what the other people in the world are thinking about it and in what fashion and in what manner they're progressing. So those actually help you in understanding or rather deciding your aims and objectives as such. So research methodology is an important, I think, program of any Ph.D. wherein you understand about various different aspects of your own problem as such. So it is about the analytical methods that you adopt or rather make use of. So prior using it, you must understand basically in detail what methodologies are required for your particular topic of work, in what manner you should proceed, especially in geography. Of course, there are various different branches of geography, verticals that you can call them: economic geography, population geography, geomorphology, many more in fact. And in considering these various different verticals, accordingly, you have to choose the methodology. So methodology includes basically, first and foremost important thing, what methods you are going to adopt to carry forward your research. So understanding or rather in-depth understanding of the methodology that you intend to adopt. And then based on the methodology, obviously, you make your own progress. Whatever area that you choose, whatever problem that you choose, accordingly, the data that you collect and the data analysis, basically, these become very important assets and the inferences drawn. So in geology, when I was doing my Ph.D., obviously, being situated in the Himalayan part, understanding about the overall geological setting of Himalaya, that was foremost important thing. Understanding about the definition of ophiolite, water ophiolites, what do they actually tell you about? So that was the second thing that was of more importance. And then the analytical tools, obviously, understanding the rock under thin sections, seeing it under microscope, understanding the mineral composition, understanding its volumetric distribution, what is called as a modal analysis, based on which in fact you do the classification of rock, and then further going down into details like doing the chemical analysis. The chemical analysis tells you about basically all different minute aspects, whether there are major elements, trace elements, RE, and to the extent of isotopes that tell you about basically the various processes by which the present analysis to a great extent has been modified. Because generally, whether it is geography or geology, you are looking at the landscape or you're looking at the rock, which is a few million years old. And the vagaries of climate obviously has done great changes in the original composition, in the original nature of that particular rock. And therefore, what was the original composition? To understand, you have to a great extent, do the deductions of the processes that to a great extent have modified or altered the composition or altered the overall nature of that rock. And once you deduce those processes, once you first of all understand what process are acted upon and what is the effect of that particular process, and then you minus it from what has been, what you are seeing in presently, then only you would perhaps be able to get into the original composition. So accordingly, you decided the tools, the geochemical modeling, especially the trace element modeling, trace element fingerprinting, and then getting closer to the original composition of the rock. And that's how basically you understand what different processes have modified the composition. In a similar fashion, whether it is a landscape, whether it is any other part of geography, obviously, the changes that have occurred actually have greatly modified the original nature, original landscape. And unless and until you understand about the original nature of that particular landscape, you will not be able to comment on the processes which have greatly modified and brought it to the present position. And that is what research is all about, actually. It is just not merely replicating or duplicating the kind of work previously people have done. In fact, it should have something very new. You should bring out something basically a different dimension. And that is what, otherwise it is just a replication. I remember V.G. Bide then used to talk about research is not replication. If someone is measuring the viscosity of turpentine in England and some other person measures the viscosity of glycerin in India, it is not research. It is merely basically replication of a methodology. Nothing beyond that. Research is basically something, it has to be original. It should add to the existing knowledge, something more. And to actually reach to that particular stage, what method needs to be adopted. So that is what is a research methodology. And therefore, perhaps it was made compulsory as such. So presentations, understanding about the literature, understanding of the terrain wherein you are working, understanding about the problem on which you would be actually spending your next 2-3 years. And for that, what different methods you adopt. That is what becomes basically very necessary in handling any research problem as such. In geology, obviously, things are slightly different. In fact, geology, geography, atmospheric science, ocean science, these are all linked. And that's the reason actually, during my time as a Vice Chancellor, I thought of creating the school system. And now, each individual department, perhaps, whether it is geography, whether it is geology, whether it is environmental science, or atmospheric science, that has come under one umbrella, and that is School of Earth and Atmospheric Science. So that there would be a horizontal sort of a mobility of teachers, of ideas, of students, of original work as such. And that is how the student will get immensely benefited as such. Because research has always been very multidisciplinary in character. Even while doing work on the ophiolites, I had to understand about the geomorphology of that terrain. That becomes part of, obviously, geography. The climate that exists in that particular area obviously becomes part of more of the transitional area, atmospheric science, and geography. The precipitation that area receives, the altitude wherein it occurs, the latitude where it is presently seen disposed. So all that basically more or less you need to actually consult areas other than your own subject. So it is always multidisciplinary in character as such. And to maintain that multidisciplinarity, obviously we need to understand the various different elements. And keeping that in mind, in fact, we have brought in the school system. So wherein obviously a student of geography will get some understanding of geology, some understanding of atmospheric science, the climate change, the environmental aspect, and so on and so forth. And that helps him basically in adopting a very holistic approach in looking at his own problem as such. And that is what perhaps is the very essence of undergoing this course on the research methodology. In fact, Madam was speaking about that this being a field science. Obviously, if things permit, perhaps a physical sort of a visit or a field work would be also becomes a part of this particular coursework as such. And that is what is required the most. I'm pretty sure those lead speakers pertaining to various different disciplines and verticals of geography or in general about earth science would be giving you the specific directions in which one must move. And accordingly, choose your own problem and accordingly you adopt the methodology that is required so that ultimately you come out with some brilliant sort of a summary or brilliant sort of a outcome of the work that you have undertaken as such. And that is what basically is required the most. It should not be just duplication. It should not be just replication. There has to be some originality. And you would be adding something more to the problem that you are studying as such. Problem, you are not adding to the problem, but you actually are making an effort to resolve some issues that are associated with your topic as such. And that is what required the most as such. Publication obviously is an important aspect of doing your research. So while publication also, you all know that there are so many predatory journals these days are available. So choosing a right journal and publishing in a right place, that is also is part of the research methodology, where it is a peer-reviewed journal, where basically the citation index is very high, where your paper has been actually read by many more, and that to a great extent would add to your own elevation of the standard of your research as such. So where do you publish? How do you publish? Plagiarism these days has become again another hurdle. Google and all this open source material that is so loosely available. So what to take and what not to take, and how do you actually take it, whether just you copy and paste or whether you actually understand the essence of that particular paragraph and accordingly you adopt it in your own writing of a thesis. So these are various different actually things that you must understand during this particular process of research methodology, what to do and what not to do. And this is what required, in fact, actually to bring out a better work. And perhaps from that point of view, I believe department will go a long way, especially in the lives of the students who are actually joined for this Ph.D. work just recently, who are in fact all new. They would in fact immensely get benefited by these directions as such. And therefore, I appreciate the efforts taken by every one of you in arranging this particular workshop on research methodology. And this has become an important element of the present day sort of a research activity, the PhD work as such, unless and until you clear it. And it's just not how much marks you get. It is important that you understand the process before undertaking your actual or rather tackling your own problem as such. And that is what is required. It is not the game of numbers basically. It is basically the requirement that you understand first of all what is research, how do we go about it, what things are required, what is critical thinking, what is analytical thinking. So all these things actually to inculcate in you all research methodology required the most as such. And therefore, once again, I congratulate the Department of Geography and all the organizers for arranging this workshop, although in a online mode because of the present tough time that we are passing through. But certainly, this will arouse interest among the students, among basically the fellow colleagues who actually intend to get into this particular activity of doing their PhD work. And therefore, I congratulate every one of you. I thank every one of you, including the organizers, for giving me opportunity to have a small chat with you. The lead speaker, obviously, Praveen Saptarshi sir, perhaps would give you more. I spoke very general, and I spoke basically about my own experience while going for research activity. And you would be immensely benefited by this particular workshop. So with these words, once again, I wish every one of you have a very wonderful deliberations and discussions during this particular coursework. And I'm pretty sure you'll carry very interesting, important sort of things that are required the most for carrying forward your research activity. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Your deliberation has highlighted the crux of what needs to be done as a line of action in any coursework. And of course, you have highlighted the need of any research to be multidisciplinary as well. Thank you for your words. Before I hand over the proceedings to Srimati Vidya Mohite for the vote of thanks of the inaugural function, I would like to welcome the head of the Department of Geography, SPPU, Professor Ravindra Jayabhai, and of course, Principal Tushar Shitole, who is the Principal of Nasrapur College, Pune Jilla Shikshan Mandal. Of course, all other participants as well. And now, I would request Srimati Vidya Mohite to present the official vote of thanks. Thank you. मॅडम आवाज येत नाहीये तुमचा. नाही येते मॅडम आवाज. नाही येते आवाज.
हॅलो.
हा आता येतो बोला मॅडम.
Good evening, one and all. The Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Nitin Karmalkar, Vice Chancellor, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. Resource Person, Professor Praveen Saptarshi, Emeritus Professor, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. Professor Savita Datar, Incharge Principal, teachers and my dear student. First of all, I would like to thank the organizing team and principal ma'am for giving me an opportunity to deliver the formal vote of thanks. On behalf of the Department of Geography, Postgraduate Teaching and Research Center, we would like to thank the chief guest for consenting deliver the inaugural lecture. We are very thankful that he graced the occasion in spite of his busy schedule. Then we would also like to thank Professor Praveen Saptarshi, Emeritus Professor. Thanks are due to our principal, Professor Savita Datar, how has been very supportive all throughout the organization of this program. We also thank the teaching and non-teaching staff of the college who have extended wholehearted support for this program. This program was possible only because of collective efforts by all the staff of department, geography, regularly guidance from the vice principals. Last but not least, we would thank the participant registered for the coursework and student of the various classes who are present for these inaugural functions. I thank you all once again on a personal behalf and announce that the inauguration program has officially concluded. Best wishes for the participant of the coursework. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. An announcement that we would be having a bio break of 10 minutes and we'll be starting with Professor Saptarishi's lecture dot at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much. We are going to gather at 4 o'clock.
Devne sir, please.
Good afternoon once again. I would rather say good evening now. It's past 4 o'clock. We have already introduced our second speaker, who is again an eminent geographer, environmentalist, and of course, Professor Emeritus Shri Praveen Saptarshi. I would, without any delay, request Praveen Saptarshi sir to start his deliberation. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Principal Datar Madam, new Principal, and my young friend, then another young friend, Dr. Sunil Gaikwad, heading the department, Devne sir, and all these fellows, and one who has introduced me nicely, Sunil Thakre. So I take your words as how I should behave. So this may not be the practical one, this not be realistic one, but this is certainly the what you have taught me. I will definitely try to be like one you have explained in my introduction part. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the outset, I welcome all the PhD scholars who have joined us, and also I really welcome Dr. Vilas Ugle, Tushar, because we owe them as a community of geography. Now we really owe them, because yesterday only the Academic Council has passed the resolution that the SYBA and TYBA practical course will be treated as the 4-credit courses, and same will be followed for SYBSc and TYBSc. And I think that this has a very long-term impact, and the ensuring the employability of the present staff, I think for next decade. So this is really a good achievement of the Board of Studies, and we all also owe to Professor Nitin Karmalkar, Vice Chancellor of this university. Under his leadership, yesterday the Academic Council has passed the resolution, and this is really a great achievement, and that's why I'm very much thankful to Tushar and Vilas Ugle, Managing Council member. So with these words, I will start the subject. So before I start, I would like to tell you one simple thing, that Honorable Vice Chancellor has said something about the original research work. Yes, of course, especially in science faculty, we can find that the repetitive research work is going on. For example, in environmental science or in chemistry, what is the behavior of Mn with certain other things, then Mn with another one, Mn with something like that. What is the impact of magnesium or manganese on as a heavy metal trace on the soil, on the some species like say some botanical species, some crops. So such kind of things are there. But what is innovative? The heavy metal traces do their impact on future generations. So this would have been invented by some person. But I think that even if this kind of repetitive research for PhD degree, suppose somebody has taken, it is also good research, but if the methodology is sound. I will share one important thing that, for example, in MEDA project, we wanted to find out how many solar cookers will have the acceptance level by the people in Pune metropolitan region. So what we have done, we have conducted the survey in which thousands of samples we have collected, saying simple thing that are you going to purchase solar cooker, yes or no. So this is a binary one. Y was binary variable, and X and Z, these two variables were simple, asking what is your income, and the Z would be the cost of the price of solar cooker. So we have given the price of solar cooker right from 100 rupees to 1000 rupees. So at that time, actual price was some 500 rupees, 600 rupees, 700 rupees. And we stated these prices to the, while taking the interview. And we asked them that if price is 700, are you willing to purchase solar cooker? Yes or no, 0 or 1, right? And another thing was that then next sample was asked that the price of solar cooker is 600 rupees. Are you willing to purchase this? And the another column was there, that is what is your monthly income. So this kind of data, simple 3 variables for I think 2000 to 3000 samples were taken, with again the region-wise distribution was also done. PMR, Pune metropolitan region, is divided into Pune Municipal Corporation and Pimpri-Chinchwad Corporation, the Hadapsar cantonment area and Khadki cantonment, and so on and so forth. So this we have taken the sample. Also, we classified the sample base according to the high class society, the middle class, and then the slum dwellers. So now simple thing that some 2000, 4000 samples have been collected with just 3 questions. Are you willing to this, and what is your monthly income, and the price of solar cooker is this and this. So this was done by almost 40 students of geography and NSS also. And we come out, so see the innovation in research, we come out with the results that we carried out. I will just, a simple result I will tell you about the discriminant analysis. And discriminant analysis, while doing this, we have found out the probability levels, 0.5, 0.1, the 0.1 to 1. So then we can say that yes, there is a probability that so many number of people or this much percentage of sample is willing to purchase solar cooker if the price is so and so. If price is this, the percentage is drastically going on. In simple case, the 600 rupees price is there, only 10%, 500, 20%, 400, almost it was so jumped that the 40% people will be. Then we can advise, this is policy instrument, that how we can prepare. And this we can say that at least give 200 rupees subsidy. If the cost of production is suppose 600 rupees, then we would advise that 200 rupees would be the subsidy, so that 40% of the people will purchase solar cooker and they will use it. So in this way, this kind of research, we can say that the innovative ideas and simple, based on the simple things, but just applying some statistical method, we can develop this policy instrument. So in geography, we cannot claim that we are doing some innovative research, but at least try to be study in such a way that ultimately you can be in position to develop the policy instrument, and that policy instrument should be beneficial to the people of our society. So this would definitely improve the societal this will definitely improve the societal relevance of our research. So it is needless to say that I have done research which may not be of quality, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, but it should be the urge, because most of the times, why I'm just telling about you regarding quality, don't worry about the quality, because quality is such a word which is applied, which is used by some people who don't like that all of you should carry out research. So your English may be not up to the mark, your quality of research, so-called, according to the measurements given by so-called people, maybe UGC, maybe some university departments, maybe your guide, or maybe your teachers, whatever it may be. But see that whether you are critically examined for quality just to say no to your research. I have seen so many cases where the people have fumbled while expressing their research work. But still somebody says that, no, he has done so hard work. Only thing is that today he is unable to tell the things. Otherwise, he's great. Why not this is applicable to a person from Gundechivadi in some Ahmednagar district? So this is not, such words are not used. So I think that luckily all the faculty members in our department are so good that they will definitely encourage the research work. Somebody say that Thackeray has suggested that while introducing me, he has said that he has so many number of students as the PhD students under the guidance of Dr. Saptarshi. But I don't think that that number is important. How many students I have just expelled them from the research. So that is also important. And I definitely am proud that not a single student I have said no for research. And that's why it was my great achievement that I could be the guide of more than 50 students. Regarding quality, I will definitely say that each and every one has the qualitative deliberations, good thesis on par with the international standard. So I have seen so many theses from the IIT, so many theses from ISCs, and so many theses from various universities, and I have seen that, and that's why I'm saying it with certain logic, that all the students who have come from the actually my thesis was those who are coming from those who were flying, they should use computer. And really today I'm so happy to see this online conference, online workshop, because I think we have purchased, I think Sunil was there, or Sunil was student. So we purchased this, the first computer in 1986, before mathematics department, before physics department, on par with the university physics department. So in the same year, the university had one or two, three computers in some departments, and SP College has one in geography department, and we purchased it through certain grant from the research project. So that is again a good thing. Of course, that was one floppy drive, small computer costing 1 lakh rupees. now we can use anything. So anyway, so coming to the research, the topic given to me is such a difficult topic, that research in geography. So what is geography? So I think that we should stick to the basic idea of nature of geography. And nature of geography is dynamic one, scientific one, and it is interdisciplinary in nature. So these are the three things that we are being taught right from the beginning, right from the first year, that all of you know that what is nature of geography? Dynamic. Then, because we considered, why dynamic? We try to analyze the relationship between nature and man, nature and human beings. And this is mainly had three major components, that is needs of human society, the resources in the nature, and the tools in the hands of man. And all the three components are so dynamic, they are ever changing, they are different in different places, different in different times, and so with respect to place and time, they are ever changing, and that's why we are dealing with this. That's why it is dynamic one. So this dynamism, you should not forget this dynamism. For example, this dynamic nature means, suppose you come out with good idea, and if that good idea is not accepted by the people, then why not? So this you have to think seriously, and then you will you will know what is the dynamics of the society which has made it. I will tell you one important aspect, that many people, you might have must have done the research or research paper, or even your PhD topic must have been related to the Jalayukta Shivar, that scheme. That is, the farm ponds are there. And one fine morning, the farm ponds have been replaced by the storage tank, by inserting some kind of plastic sheet. Who has done this? This is done by some corporate manufacturing the plastic sheet, and this corporate has talked with the chief minister or some secretaries, and then they might have played this mischief, and it was not there in the original scheme. Original scheme you can study that. So this dynamism we should be in position to understand. Is it useful? Are we going to use these farm ponds as the evaporation ponds, or it is a percolation pond? Actually, it should be a percolation pond. Those, we have seen that the correlationship between number of farm ponds is increasing. Those villages show the groundwater level is diminishing, is going down. So this dynamism you should be in position to understand. So this is direct relationship between the water resources, which is nature has provided us, and this is the behavior of society. Society means the government, the society, then the policy makers. So everything is included in this. So this dynamism, we should be in position to understand that the system, what is the economic system that compelled the central government of India, to frame the 3 laws in the name of development of farmers. And farmers say that it is not our development, it is the development of corporates. Why it is so? This dynamism should be understood by geographers. I have understood this with this dynamic approach, and I have seen that the same laws were framed in 1978 in the United States of America. And what is the present situation? This is because of implementation of such laws. What exactly has happened? Only 4% of the consumer price goes to the farmers, which is far less than 10% goes to TV for the advertisement. So Cargill industry spends 10% for advertisement, rather than, and 4% is given to the farmers, which is the major stakeholder in that company, which provides you the oil and all these things. Another thing that yesterday, day before yesterday, I think I have seen that the oil, edible oil, is so costly. What is dynamics behind the edible oil? Why it is costly, and why it should be on par with international prices? So edible oil is day-to-day need of the poorest of poor, and 70% of it we import, and that's why we are compelled to align with the international prices. This is dynamics behind this. And why we purchase 70% of our oil from the imported one? Why we purchase from other nations? Actually, once we see this dynamic relationship, we can find out that we export sugar, which is water consuming, and we import oil seeds or oil, which requirement of water for those crops is very low. So this, or you can say that it is just 10% that is the requirement for sugarcane. So this is again, and that's why we have to think in various disciplines. We have to think about economic system, we have to think about the political system, we have to think about the social system, we have to think everything. And that's why we consider that nature of our subject is interdisciplinary. So hereafter, don't say that my PhD topic is related to agricultural geography, that's why I don't know politics. My PhD is in geomorphology, so I don't know societal issues. No, this is not allowed. So you have to be interdisciplinary in nature. Interdisciplinary in nature means you should not say that how to measure the pollution. I don't know, because in geography we don't have carried out the practical of measuring the pollution, but at least you know the data. So again, the data for pandemic, the air pollution data in Delhi and everything, the people are just praising that the air is so clean and these everything. But scientifically, is it so? Is it just the media has created, or there are news about that one can see the Himalayan peaks from the Punjab area. This is because how clean is the air. Okay, clean means what? Scientifically, we should understand that the air quality index was very good, no doubt about that. Pollution index was reduced to 30%, not below that. What is that 30? That figure? It may be normal, but why this base level when all the industries were stopped, where all the transportation network was stopped, was standstill. So at that time, why this 30% of this pollution level was up to 30%? Why it is so? This can be done in a scientific way by geographers only. So what is dynamics for this kind of baseline of pollution? So we should seriously think about such things. So considering these three nature of geography, I think that we should get enthused to think. We should always try to think. Thinking ability is now being reduced. The people, many students, they come to me. Even yesterday somebody was coming to me for designing his research work, and I know that he was just telling me that, sir, I have got good ideas, but I can't put it in English, so please. I said that this is paper, you sit here and write down in your ideas in Marathi. No, he fumbled. Why he fumbled? Because no ideas, no thinking. Only thing is that what Thackeray has done, I have to do. What Sunil Gaikwad has done or Devne has done, I have to follow him. No, try to think about your own thing. And for that purpose, I think our this research work starts with the selection of topic. While selecting the topic, you should think seriously. For example, one topic I will say that what has happened to the healthcare system in pandemic. This was the question was how this question has become so severe, and that's why people started healthcare system. Okay, what happened? So I think 13 years back, I took a project, and why at that time Ratnagiri was at Ratnagiri Subcenter, Mumbai University Subcenter. I was invited as the emeritus professor, and that's why I went there and I used to teach the things. And in the evening time, this is geography in my mind. So I saw that yes, Ratnagiri is well developed. What is meant by development? I just walked down 1 kilometer and found that whatever buildings are there is no building of good high school, good college, the only old buildings. This building is, yes, it is established. S.P.College building is established in 100 years back. Okay. What is new addition in the last 10 years? So I have seen that most of the buildings and most of the shops were maximum number of shops were medical shops. What exactly is there? So this means that this medical healthcare system have been hijacked by some industries and pharmaceutical industries, and they are pushing their products with aggressive marketing in society. And I have seen that the cost of any medicine that you purchase is less than 10% or 5%. Rest is advertisement and the agent's salary and all these things. And that's why the many people, you can find that the continuous renovation is going on for medical shop. Then I thought that let us see what is the cost of medicine, what is the cost of medicine which is borne by this society. So then we just conducted a survey and found out that what is the daily sale in 3 different seasons of the medical shops or regarding medicines, and what is the bill paid by the patient coming from taking discharge and coming out of the hospital or coming out of dispensary. He has taken, how many patients we have surveyed? Say 100. So 50 were just repetitive and they were not charged. Okay, zero charge, zero charge. Then another person says, I have paid 300 rupees, I have paid 500 rupees. How many medicines you have purchased? So many rupees of medicine. So then we calculated using the random sampling and using some other things that details I will tell you. And we come out with a figure that in Ratnagiri, only Ratnagiri city, such a small town in Ratnagiri, the 50 lakh rupees per day is the turnover of healthcare system. 50 lakh rupees is the daily turnover. It is not the monthly, it is daily turnover. And then I came to know that this means that it is almost 150 crores of rupees. Then I asked the municipal authority, if I give you 150 crores, about 100 crores rupees, can you make the sewage clean, sewage system, then the drainage system, then the drinking water system on par with the California system? Okay, is it possible? 100 crores? Yes, sir, it is possible. Why not doing? Why we should not do? Then we have to convince the people that you are wasting money in all these things, the purchasing medicines. Instead, at least give some money to the corporation authority. Then the funny answer was, we don't believe in their integrity. So this kind of the corruption is, again, always people say that the corruption is the conclusion, that is a lazy thinker's conclusion. I think that the corruption is also, there is a conspiracy. Then in the name of corruption, the distance between the administrator and the common man has been increased. And that's why we always say that, oh, this is because of corruption. But if we really
आहे सर, ओके आहे
हॅलो
सर.
हॅलो आवाज येतोय का?
येतोय सर, येतोय.
माझा स्क्रीन फक्त ऑफ झालेला आहे. एनिवे, हा, तर this means that we have to take serious note about the things around us and find out the research topics. We have to really find out the research topics, and there is no dearth, because we are dealing with relationship between man and environment, and this is really a great blessings from our forefathers that we can do any topic like this. So that's why even drinking water facility at the rural areas, one can certainly select a tehsil and find out what exactly is the status of rural drinking water system. So we have seen that why there is some health hazards in Shirur Tehsil. So waterborne diseases are there. So we found out from where they get drinking water. So we saw that it is because of groundwater. And what is groundwater? So well water. Okay. Then we identified some wells which are used for drinking water purpose. And we took the sample, and of course, using the chemical, these laboratories and laboratory experiments and all these things, we found that, oh, it has got certain pollution. What kind of pollution? So this means that some of the factories in 5-star MIDC complex near Ranjangaon, they are responsible for pollution of groundwater. Then this awareness made the people in the villages to just they could rise, and they could definitely tell it to collector, and some penal action was taken against them. So these are the things that we should be in position to uncover the truth from this and select the topic in such a way. Selection of area is also important in geographical research, study area, and we give study area, profile, and all these things. So not only the selection of topic, but how you frame the topic is important. Many people always, while writing the topic, sometimes it is bore them that they to see the topic that geographical analysis. Arey bhai, you are doing a PhD in the subject geography, so there is no need to see geographical analysis, a geographical approach. Because I have worked a lot as the member of RRC, and that's why I come across many such topics. Best way I can give you some key points that how to select, how to frame the topic. It is very simple thing. You go through the previous literature and you can find out the title of some research papers, and you can get the idea how topics can be framed. This is one way. Second way, take 2-3 good research, and these days it is not difficult. In our times, we have to go to Gaikwad and we have to sit in our S.P.College library till 8 o'clock. So at times till 12 o'clock. So that's why in the department, and we have to read the thing. Now you can have the many from Book Ganga, or what is that that Show the Ganga, and even thesis. Only thing is that my thesis you won't be in position to find on Show the Ganga. I don't know whether it is there or not. So anyway, so you can just take the clue and find out the topics, and you can just do the statistical analysis of topic. You can find that in geography, geographical research, geographical approach, geographical perspective, geographical study. So such things are majority. So you avoid such type of the nomenclature. So in this way, we have to find out you have to select the topic. And while selecting topic, there should be good research question in your mind. Means the good research question means regarding Shirur Tahsil, I will say that whether industries have polluted groundwater or not. If polluted, which are the industries responsible for groundwater pollution? Which are the industries, which are the areas responsible for pollution of Bhima river system and Ujni Dam, or same is for Gaikwad Dam. And that has created the impact on agriculture. Do you know that in 70s till I think 80s or 90s, the production of sugarcane was more than 100 tons per hectare. Now it is less than 70 tons per hectare. Means that per acre it is so low, 20 tons per acre, or sorry, 25 tons per acre. So it should be more than 40. So found out in one model that if the sugarcane production is less than 40%, so it is the criminal offense on environment. Using water resource unnecessary for this 25 tons of sugarcane is the criminal offense. Only geographer can tell this. No legal person, no politician will tell you. But this, we should develop a policy instrument in such a way that are you going to have the sugarcane production more than 100 tons per hectare? If no, then you are not allowed to take sugarcane in your field. So this should be the legal implications. So for that, such rules should be made by Gram Sabha and this. So this is these are the things that we should be in position to. Now it is okay.
येस येस चालू आहे.
Yes,
तुमचा
yes,
सर स्क्रीन आयडल असल्यामुळे तो ब्लॅकआउट होतोय. चालू आहे कार्यक्रम चालू.
बरं म्हणजे स्क्रीन येत नाही का?
नाही नाही येतंय सगळं, आम्हाला सगळं दिसतंय सर.
दिसतंय. ओके ओके ओके.
येस
Okay, thank you very much. So then we'll switch over to the next point that I would like to discuss with you. That is the research question that we have studied. The next one is study area profile, that we should be in position to give it in brief. The study area profile. Study area profile means my study area and Devne's study area is same, so I will just copy down Devne's 10-15 pages, so that is okay. And don't try to have the 200 pages thesis or 300 pages thesis. Don't. So study area profile means, for example, you are studying about Karjat Tehsil, which is a drought prone area, severe drought. It is core zone. It lies in core zone. Don't you give this? Another thing is that while presentation, people love to read the latitudes and longitudes. No need. This is absolute location. Give relative location. Highlight your relative location. My tehsil, my study area lies in core zone of drought-prone area. This means that the rainfall in this Parnet Tehsil, Karjat Tehsil, Srigunda Tehsil, Jamkhet Tehsil is less than 50 centimeters per year, and with more than 200 rainfall variability. 200% is the rainfall variability. There are, so every 3 years, in the period of 3 years, 1 year is the famine year. So this is severity. So that's why capital formation is not a question. Capital formation is not done in agricultural sector, and that's why new agriculture is not possible. But another strong point you should say, that as this area has no irrigation, dry farming is dominant, and that's why there is no use of urea sulfala or fertilizers or pesticides, and that's why it is near the organic farming. That you can highlight also, and that's why you should take jawar from the famine conditions, dry farming area. Although it looks like a smaller one, अगदी मोत्याच्या दाण्यासारखी नाही दिसत, पण आमची साधी काचेच्या तुकड्यांसारखी दिसत किंवा बांगडी फुटलेल्या तुकड्यासारखी दिसत आमची, तरी सुद्धा that is good for your health. You should tell it and you can market it. So we have marketed it. So apart from that, this is my social commitment and social work. But we should be in position to highlight this also. What is the strong point of this study area? The scorching sun may be weak point, but scorching sun is a strong point also. And this is the 365 days, 20 every day, 12 hours a day, you can find that the clear solar energy is there. Is it a strong point, or you may say that the potential evaporation loss is very high, and that's why this is also a weak point. So all these things you should be in position to give in study area profile. And in introduction part, you just find give the introduction, how you arrive to select the topic. Otherwise, you don't give what is done at world level. Then India is, so such sentences, please avoid, my dear friends, my dear young friends, young scholars. Avoid these the water is everywhere, but water is very less, or only 0.1% of water is available for drinking. This is just nonsense. Maybe sense, it may have sense, but for fourth standard students, it is good. So another thing is that don't give textbook writings. Don't include some paragraphs from textbooks in your thesis. This would be definitely reduce the quality of your research work. And that's why it is necessary that you should carry out the topic should be designed, the research questions should be asked. All these things can be given in the introductory part in just 4 or 5 pages. That is enough. Then you can give exact objectives. So whatever it may be, what is your objective? Sometimes objectives are confused with methodology. For example, Ratnagiri example, objective, some of my students say that the objective is so simple that to carry out survey and find out the cost of the healthcare system, the cost for the healthcare by the people. I said that this is methodology. Yaar. So how you are coming to study of the development of healthcare system and its impact on day-to-day life of the people, and the conclusion should be that the healthcare system, how this healthcare system is acting as the exploitation of the poorest of poor, or the exploitation of people. So it is economic exploitation through these things. In pandemic, who are well off, who became well off, who were the profiteers in pandemic? The profiteers are the pharmaceutical companies and many people. So even Ayurvedic company, manufacturing companies, some cream manufacturing company, then some, you can say that the recipe providing, the internet. Amazon is the most profiteer in pandemic. So this can also be a good topic for research. So objectives should be defined, that what is our purpose of this, to understand what happens to the agricultural sector in the last 10 years. So these things we should be in position to understand. Then, so well-defined objectives, and then you can give methodology. So objective is supposed to find out the reasons for dominant crop in this, or monoculture in this terrace. Then you say that how these reasons can be identified. Then we develop a questionnaire. We carried out survey. This is primary, how this primary data can be analyzed. Primary data may be in quantitative form, maybe in qualitative form, and this, or the both qualitative, quantitative. So in the what you say that alphanumeric form. So all these things you have to take into account. I'm not using the big jargons because all of you are just beginning your studies, and that's why I'm not using this. So this kind of things, how you are going to analyze it, what kind of statistical method you can do it, and what is the purpose of using this discriminant analysis, using this R value of regression. I will just tell you one simple example of regression equation. Suppose you are studying the dynamics. So this word is also quite famous. Dynamics of cropping pattern in so district and tehsil wise data. So this is not a good research. You should take village level data, and if really you want to find out dynamics, means how the cropping pattern has been changed. The cropping pattern should not be explain in terms of Dewey's method, monoculture or this. So we have a lot of computer techniques are there, and that's why you can just have the identify the regions in which the villages show more percentage of jawar, more percentage of sugarcane or something like that. And you can prepare very good maps. Some 100 maps can be prepared with this jawar. And then you can find out that how this pattern is changing. Visually, it can easily be understood. But how to prove it statistically? So that is also the important thing. And how to prove it statistically? It is very simple. Take a village in 1990, the data, village level data, percentage of crop, various crops, you know, that percentage of jawar. See that. Then find out correlation from village to village. Then you can find out this jawar cluster, this cluster, and then how it is changed. So this regression analysis is changing, and then you can find out that jawar is replaced by wheat in some villages. So the villages showing jawar in previous year, now they are showing wheat in this year. So in 1991 wheat and 1990 jawar, they will have the good correlation. This means that jawar is. So people were raising the question that how you villages are correlated with another villages. So this can be done. This correlation analysis can be done. So I have also written paper on this, and that's why you can go through this, and you can just, if you have any difficulty, you can ask me. So this kind of methodology can also be scientific in nature and really some innovative. My friend Dr. Karmalkar is using the principal component analysis or factor analysis method. I am also using this, but we both of us have started using this PCA and this. These days it is very easy because you can SSP. What is that package? You can find it. But my dear friends, try to understand what is the value, p value, or what is probability, what given in that particular computer output. So unless and until you know this, the best way is that in your coursework, I think that some statistical methods should be, some tests should be calculated manually by the scholars. Then they will be in position to understand the principal component analysis or the factor analysis or regression analysis. So regression, many students come and sir, this is given in the, by the output of the. So this is not sufficient. You should be in position. Then and then only you will be in position to understand the methodology. Most of the theses I have seen that they just go on suggesting the things. Suggesting means the government should do this. What is this government? What is how government is reading this your thesis? No, not at all. So how to make the government to adopt this policy? That is the important thing. For that, have you suggested any model? So that in methodology, by itself, you should give how to ensure public participation in the future program, which was suggested by the present study. Suggested by me असं म्हणायचं नसतं, ते तर तुमचे गाईड सांगतीलच तुम्हाला. Another thing is that I have come across some mistakes in many papers that it is a mistake. We should accept it in a humble way. That they, while giving the reference in the in the body of the thesis in bracket, you give that Datar-Manojkumar 2005. So don't give Manojkumar, only Datar. Devni and what Dare or whatever it may be, Devni Karlikar. So you can give just first name or one name, which is given by that particular author of the paper, which is referred uh, frequently by that name. So only you write Saptarshi. Don't write Saptarshi PG, the head of the department or something like that. No, please don't do this. So such things are there. They I think I should stop at 5 o'clock so that you can ask me the questions. Then the previous literature. So you should write that the previous literature. People say that I have seen that no, nothing is there in the previous literature or something like that. So don't don't do such statements. You should be humble enough to say that you have. Suppose in my thesis I have uh, I have actually read more than 1,000 papers and more than 400-500 books. Okay, but this I have referred only 200 or 300 references, which are just things. So then I have read this, and you try to find out some masala in it that you appreciate. You write down it. And in our times, we were used to do some cards or something like that. In your time, you can just do it on computer. Write down something about what you liked in that particular page. That will be lifetime achievement for you. Forget about your PhD. The same references you can use for number of times. If you know that, suppose this paper is not with me now, but I have written those papers. What exactly is the title of the paper, the author, and what exactly the things that you have appreciated from that particular paper? You should be in position to write down those things. So in this way, it is necessary that you should deal with the previous literature. And while using the words, the previous literature shows that no, don't use such words. Be humble in writing. The cursory survey of previous literature shows that there is seldom reference regarding this thing, and that's why I have, or that's why the present study is highlighting such things. So in a very humble way, you should be. It may be proved. My hypothesis may be proved. I have proved the hypothesis. Don't say like this. It may be proved because you know regression equation. Y is equal to A plus bx, right? Bx, then x1, x2, x3, whatever it may be. But the last thing is that plus or minus e, that is error. Error means it is the acknowledgement. It is not deterministic. We are not deterministic. We are not determining y based on what x. We are trying to determine it, but we say that yes, possibilism is also there. Determinism, we don't accept determinism 100%. Yes, we understand the philosophy behind determinism, but we also respect possibilism. And that's why we write plus or minus e. The computer programming may not be giving you these ideas. So anyway, dear friends, young friends, try to be a good researcher. PhD is the first step, but during PhD coursework and during the PhD experience of 3-4 years, you will be in position to understand many things. And of course, my good wishes are with you. And at any time, you can ask me any question. And my address is, everybody knows my email address or my phone number or my home address, you know. So don't be shy about meeting me, about asking me any questions. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Akre ma'am. Akre ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, one and all. It was really.
ललित तू काय
Yes.
पुण्यात आली का नाशिकला ते अजून?
सर पुण्यातच आहे मी.
रोज कॉलेजला येतात?
नाही
कॉलेजला येता का?
कॉलेजला अल्टरनेट डेजला येतोय सर. साइन करण्यासाठी, बाकी सगळं ऑनलाईन चालू आहे.
व्हेरी गुड.
येस.
बरं वाटलं सगळे पाहून, देवणे सर हे ते प्रत्यक्ष चेहरे पाहून.
सगळे आहेत सर.
तुषार तुझं अभिनंदन.
चित्रात पाहिले सर, चित्रात सगळ्यांनी पाहिलं. चित्र पाहतोय आपण.
नाही पण तुषारचं खरंच अभिनंदन करण्यासारखं आहे बरं का. बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीजचं 25 वर्ष तरी पुढचा प्रश्न सॉल्व्ह केलेला आहे. 4 धरलेले. गायकवाड सर आपल्याला माहिती किती बोंबाबोंब होत होती आपली वर्कलोड प्रॅक्टिकलचं. 4 क्रेडिट धरलेलं आहे. म्हणजे TYBA आणि SYBAच्या प्रॅक्टिकलचे 4 क्रेडिट धरले. ललित तुझ्या फार फायद्याचं आहे यंग जॉग्राफरच्या दृष्टीने. ठाकरे आणि म्हणून आमचं आता तूच आमचा इथला प्रतिनिधी BOSचा.
सर सगळ्यांचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन आहे आणि चेअरमनचं पर्टिक्युलरली चेअरमन आणि मुसमाडे सर.
फार चाल मुसमाडे चेअरमन नाही ते अलर्ट राहिले आणि त्यांनी वेळेत बरोबर कालच्या मीटिंगच्या आधी 8-10 दिवस डीन कडनं ते शिफारस करून घेतलं आणि ते दिलं. म्हणजे देवणे सरांना जसे नियम सगळे माहिती असतात तसे मोरे शिकलाय नियम सगळे आणि बरोबर टायमावरती आपलं जॉग्राफीच फक्त झालं बरं का, बाकी कुठल्याही विषयांचं नाही झालं. इव्हन फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री वाल्यांचं पण नाही झालेलं. मॅडमनं सांगा जरा लावून धरा म्हणून, आपल्या प्रिन्सिपल मॅडम. बोल तू काय माझं फक्त कौतुकच करणार आहे ना? जाऊ दे विशेष
नाही सर. नाही सर आपल्या इथे स्टुडंट पण जॉईन झाले पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशनचे आणि अंडर ग्रॅज्युएटचे सुद्धा. So we will be happy to have questions from the students as well as staff members. You can post it in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. Sir, तुम्ही जाऊ नका.
नाही जात.
Yeah, anybody having any questions? We have time to take a couple of questions. म्हणजे सरांनी त्यांचा पत्ता, फोन नंबर सगळं दिलं असलं तरी इथल्या इथे सर आहेत, तर काही प्रश्न असतील तर विचारून घ्या.
नाही पण उपयुक्त पडले की नाही ते तरी सांगा. का तुम्ही आपलं बंद करून आपलं कोर्सवर्क भरले, तास भरले?
नाही छान झालंय.
नाही ऑर्गनायझर आमच्या SP कॉलेजचे लोक म्हणणारच चांगलं झालं, ते आमचे ते. पण तुम्ही जे विद्यार्थी जे आहेत ते म्हणतायत का?
चालेल. कोणाला काय प्रश्न असले तर विचारा प्लीज. स्पेशली रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स.
म्हणजे मला अशी अपेक्षा होती की त्यांनी अडवावं मला, तर तुम्ही असं म्हणले होते त्याचं काय झालं असं.
सर तुमचा ईमेल मुलं मागतायत चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये. तुमचा ईमेल मागतायत आणि फोन नंबर.
देऊन टाका ना. देऊन टाका.
हो देतो सगळ्यांना मिळेल ते.
आणि सगळ्यांना एक सांगतो मी तुम्हाला. आता मी तुम्हाला प्रश्न विचारतो. सध्या चालू असलेलं फार्मर्स एज्युकेशन, हाऊ इट इज ऑर्गॅनिक, वेदर इट इज ऑर्गॅनिक ऑर इनऑर्गॅनिक, वेदर इट इज नैसर्गिक का ते कॉन्कॉक्टेड आहे, हे तुम्ही शोधून काढा आणि मला सांगा. माझं उत्तर आहे तयार, पण माझं म्हणणं याच्यात तुम्ही विचार करा.
ऑर्गॅनिक संपत आलं की आपण तुम्हाला याच्यावर डिस्कस करायला नक्की बोलवू
सर. ते हायब्रिड असू शकते
तोपर्यंत ते पण तयार होतील सर हे सगळे.
बरोबर. पण सगळे संपत आलेले लोक आहेत का सगळे नवीनच लागलेले?
90% नवीन आहेत सर.
अच्छा. म्हणजे आताच PhD ची ऍडमिशन घेतलेली?
हो अगदी 6-7 महिन्यापूर्वी.
गायकवाड सर आपला पहिला कॉम्प्युटर 86 साली आला तेव्हा तुम्ही विद्यार्थी होते का?
हो सर. मी विद्यार्थी होतो.
नारळ पडला होता तेव्हा प्रिन्सिपल साने होते कोण?
आपण चालू करायचो ना, चहा प्यायला जायचो आणि मग तिकडनं येईपर्यंत चालू झालेला.
आणि त्यावेळेस काही लोक आम्हाला सल्ला द्यायचे बरं का, की त्यांना प्रोग्राम देऊ नका सगळ्यांना. तेव्हा आपण एक्सेल नव्हतो वापरत, काय वापरत होतो ते?
लोटस.
असं काही जण आम्हाला सल्ला द्यायचे. दिस इज, आणि तेच लोक क्वालिटी बद्दल फार बोलतात बरं का. म्हणून मी क्वालिटी बद्दल जरी व्हाईस चान्सलर बोलले तरी मुद्दाम सांगितलं. क्वालिटी हा शब्द असा आहे की तुषार मला नको असेल ना तर तुषारचं पीएचडी चांगली नाही, क्वालिटी नाही हो. आहे खूप काम केलंय, मेहनत, पण क्वालिटी नाही.
तर मी एक प्रश्न विचारू का? आय हॅव वन क्वेश्चन.
येस मॅडम.
Sir, what are your views regarding fieldworks in geography? Because since it is
it is must. You have to do it. Unless and until you collect some primary data, your PhD cannot be completed. You study, you rely on the secondary data, no doubt about that. I don't think that the secondary data is wrong. But if at all you want to do the comment that government data, many people, even my seniors, they used to tell that government data means no, this is not good. No, what is the degree? How much? What is the percentage of probability that government data is wrong? So I have seen that government data is correct. Then go to the field and find out some micro level implications of that particular information. So that information is not just the final one. Actually, the reality beyond that particular data lies with the farmers. So farmer level or the people level, or suppose you are doing some urban geography, or if you are doing the geomorphology, then you have to go to the field. Don't just say that this is murum and this is something like a sand or something crescent shape. What is that? The beach. No. Unless and until you go there and find out the beach. So you know that the S.P.College has a very good tradition. We have done field work. Your head of the department has done field work at Lakshadweep, and I have helped him. मी टेप धरून त्यांचा असिस्टंट सारखे मोजत होतो सगळे आम्ही, आणि चाळण्याने वाळू मोजलेली आम्ही. ठीक आहे ना, आमचं चुकलं असेल नसेल, तुम्ही नंतर आमच्या क्वालिटी बद्दल काही बोला, परंतु ही हॅज डन दिस अंडर द गायडन्स ऑफ डॉक्टर कार्लेकर. ते आम्ही गेलेलो आहे. आम्ही कार्लेकरांच्या बरोबर कोकणात जायचं जर असेल ना, तर जगात म्हणजे असा माणूस नाही की ज्याच्या बरोबर आपण जावं. म्हणजे आमच्या घरचे तर सगळेच म्हणतात, जायचंय कोकणात, कार्लेकर येणार असेल त्याच वेळेस त्यांना गाडीत घेऊन जायचं. इतकं सांगतात फील्डवर्क, म्हणजे त्यांचं खूप झालेलं आहे त्या एरियातलं. त्यामुळे प्रत्येक ठिकाणी दर 10 किलोमीटरला ते गाडी थांबून सांगतात की हे कसं आलं, हे कसं आलं, हे काय आलं, ते काय आलं. सो दॅट इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. फील्ड वर्क तुम्ही बघा, कार्लेकर सरांचे गुरु दीक्षित सर घ्या किंवा आमचे गुरु घ्या, हे सगळं फील्ड वर्क करूनच तयार झालेले. किंवा तुमचे आत्ताचे गाईड घ्या, तुषार असेल किंवा सुनील गायकवाड असतील, देवणे सर असतील, विलासरावांच्या बरोबर ते किती फिरलेलो आहे आम्ही. तेव्हा हे सगळे तुमचे जे आपल्या महाविद्यालयाचं वैशिष्ट्य असं आहे की आपल्याकडं पैसे नसले तरी आपण फील्ड वर्कला अजिबात प्रतारणा करत नाही. सगळे कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन टाकून विद्यापीठात बरं आहे, आमच्या सालसबरी विद्यापीठात तर आणखीन सोपं होतं. आम्ही नुसतं फोन केला, मेल टाकली की मला इथं 15 विद्यार्थ्यांना घेऊन जायचंय, तर ते लगेच 3 सेकंदांनी उत्तर येतं की बाबा येस अलाउड, पण तुमचं लायसन्स चालणार नाही अमेरिकेत. तेव्हा तुमच्या बरोबर कोण कोण मुलं येतात त्याच्यापैकी कोणाचा परमनंट लायसन्स नंबर असेल तर तेवढा नंबर कळवा, आणि त्या मुलाची रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आहे. मी लगेच मुलांना तो मेल टाकला की लगेच 4 मुलं आली, म्हणजे तर आमचं लायसन्स घ्या, आणि झालं. आणि सकाळी 6 वाजता ती पोरच गाडी घेऊन आली, विद्यापीठाची गाडी घेऊन तिथं आले. त्याच्यात कार्ड असतं, ते कार्ड दाखवलं की पेट्रोल फुल भरलं जातं गाडी. काहीच नाही आम्हाला खर्च.
So there is one question from Sayan Roy. He is asking, during writing study area, we should use absolute location only or relative location mainly in urban or rural geography?
I have told in my lecture also that absolute location must be given, because it is internationally, your thesis will be read or your thesis will be recognized. That's why they should know, no doubt about that. But don't highlight those things when you are presenting your thesis. But relative, you start with absolute location, but underline the relative location. It is important. The relative, why you have selected study area, it depends on relative location. And this is the important thing. कारण मी असं सांगण्याचं कारण असं की खूप जण भाषण करताना सांगतात की राशीद इज लोकेटेड 19°27'3" अक्षांश टू दिस, असलं काहीतरी कशाला सांगतात त्यांनी? काय तुमच्या भाषणात तरी काय फरक पडतो? किंवा आता भाषणात साधं ओळख करून देताना, म्हणजे आता माफ करा, कोणाला राग धरू नका प्लीज. आता माझं वय असं आहे की तुम्ही काय राग धरू नका माझं, तर कारण काही उद्या आहे नाही. तर त्याच्यामुळे माझं म्हणणं काय की आता ही लोक बोलताना कसं वाटतात, प्रोफेसर नितीन करमळकर, व्हाईस चान्सलर SPPU. कशाला पाहिजे? ऑनरेबल व्हाईस चान्सलर नितीन करमळकर. येस, दॅट इज सफिशियंट. SPPU च पाहिजे ते सगळ्यांना जगाला माहिती आहे ना, तेच पुन्हा सांगायचं. म्हणजे मग आम्ही डॉक्टर विलास उगले, मेंबर ऑफ मॅनेजिंग काउन्सिल SPPU, काय तसं गरज नाही. मॅनेजिंग काउन्सिल मेंबर, आपण बोली भाषेत जे बोलतो तसंच प्रेझेंट करावं ना. तर ते करताना आमचे ग्रामीण भागातले लोक फार चुका करतात. कारण का, तर इंग्लिशची व्होकॅब्युलरी कमी असते, त्यामुळे ते वाचायला त्यांना टाइमपास करायला बरं वाटतं, सेकंद वगैरे सगळं मोजायला, असं मला वाटतं. आणि डेटा सुद्धा जेव्हा तुम्ही टॅब्युलर फॉर्म मध्ये देता, डेटा सुद्धा सगळं वाचायची गरज नाही हो. तुम्ही फक्त सांगा ना की सी दॅट these थिंग्स आर, म्हणजे हायलाइट दोज पॉइंट्स की इथं जास्त दिसतंय, इथं डिफरन्स जास्त दिसतंय, व्हॉट इज सिग्निफिकन्स ऑफ दोज व्हॅल्यूज. आता एक पेपर तुम्ही नुसतं पाहिला की ऊसाचं कन्क्लुजन रिमार्क मध्ये काय लिहिलंय, ऊसाचं उत्पादन खालावलेलं आहे. आता तू कशाला आम्हाला सांगतो अक्कल का खालावलं? हे तुझं रिसर्च आहे ना. खालावलं ही इन्फॉर्मेशन झाली, ती आम्ही पाहिलेली आहे, डेटा सांगतोय. तर तू त्याचं कारण मीमांसा शोधली पाहिजे, एवढंच माझं म्हणणं आहे. पण ऍब्सोल्यूट लोकेशन देऊ नका असं म्हटलेलं नाहीये मी.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. You are always motivating us in every aspect of the research work. It's always been an honor to have you, sir. I myself, Lily Thakre, would like to extend a vote of thanks on behalf of all fellow participants, coordinator of this course, and host research center who is conducting this PhD coursework, that is Department of Geography, S.P.College. We are thankful, sir, and for accepting our invitation and took your valuable time from your busy schedule. Your detailed thoughts on PhD framework and your words of experience will definitely enrich our knowledge and help out in our research work. Thank you very much, sir, again. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Jyotiram More, BOS Chairman, Subject Geography, Dr. Maya Unde, Nagar College, Dr. Tushar Sutare, sir, Principal, Nasrapur College, Vilina Inamdar Madam, Dr. Vilina Inamdar Madam, H.V. Desai College. Thank you all of you for remaining present in this coursework inauguration program. Also, I would like to thank our beloved principal ma'am, Dr. Datar ma'am, then head of the department, Dr. Sunil Gaikwad, and all fellow staff members and students of the Department of Geography, S.P. College. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to announce that PhD coursework participants are requested to stay back for a lecture on process and procedure of coursework, while other students who have joined this session can kindly leave the meeting. Thank you very much. Hand over to Dr. Devi, sir.
Yeah, thank you. We'll wait for some moments till the others leave, and then we'll start with the process and procedures of the course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
सर बाकी स्टाफनी लिव्ह केलं तरी चालेल, काय हरकत नाही. थांबायचं असेल तर थांबू देत, पण लिव्ह केलं तरी चालेल.
ज्यांना थांबायचं त्यांना थांबू देत. काय problem.
हो हो, ज्यांना थांबायचे त्यांना थांबू दे, बाकी दे कॅन लिव्ह.
हा सर, सुरू करा.
हा सर, एक 2 मिनिटं थांबतो आणि सुरू करतो सर.
ओके ओके, चालेल.
विल स्टार्ट एट 5:20. 4 मिनिटं आहेत. ला 5:20 डॉट सुरू करू सर.
हो हो. ते जे कोणी एनरोल झालेत त्यांचं अटेंडन्स आपल्याला करायला लागेल.
त्यांना आपण उद्यापासून ह्याच्यामध्ये कमेंट्स मध्ये टाकायला सांगायचंय सर. आणि आपण रेकॉर्ड करणार आहे सगळं, त्याच्यामुळे आपल्याकडे अवेलेबल राहील.
हा हा हा, म्हणजे आजपासूनच त्यांचं प्रेझेंट आपण घेऊ.
होय होय, येस. ते सगळं सांगणार आहे सर मी. बरेच
Yes,
पॉईंट
yes.
काढलेले, ते सगळं ते इंटरॅक्शन त्यांच्याशी, त्यांना काही प्रॉब्लेम आहे का आपण विचारून घेऊयात त्यांच्याशी.
हो हो.
Yes. Good evening again. It's 5:20 and let us start with the session on process and procedures. Respected Gaikwad sir, Head Department of Geography, S.P. College, Management Council member Vilas Ugle, and other participants. This session is basically going to be to explain to you what exactly we are supposed to be doing, the do's and don'ts, I would rather say, as far as this whole process of your coursework is concerned. there are a few things that I would like to put in front of you, and we would come to a consensus as to what we should be doing, and so on and so forth. As I said, that every game has its rules. So, and that's why I said that as far as this whole process of coursework is concerned, let us go by some rules, defined rules, so that nobody has any complaints at the end of the coursework as such. First and foremost, one thing that you may have noticed is that when we had announced that we would be starting our program at 3 o'clock, we started it dot at 3 o'clock. All bio breaks and other breaks were right on time. So primarily this, because basically this is on an online thing, it is the responsibility of all the participants to be on time, punctual, as far as all the sessions are concerned as such. Secondly, the certificates, as far as your the certificate course on IPR was concerned, all the certificates are with me, and whenever possible, I would be handing them over to you. As far as a few analysis of the forms are concerned, which are available on our side as far as Google Drive is concerned, there are a few corrections that need to be made. And as far as these corrections are concerned, once we get into the process of the whole coursework as such, we will open up the link, and you would be asked to make the necessary corrections that would be required for the printing of the proper form as such. Another thing is, we plan to put your photograph on the final certificate that would be issued. So just in case you would like to change your photograph, we would be announcing that also at some point of time. As we have been saying throughout the program, that this is our second coursework as such. And I remember that in the inaugural lecture in 2016, we had Professor V.S. Kale from the university. And one primary thing, and that's a very important thing that we need to understand. He said in his inaugural speech that all of y'all are now research scholars. You are beyond postgraduate, and please don't expect the organizers to cover each and every point of the syllabus as such. He also said that there would be overlaps and there would be some mislaps as far as presentations of different resource persons are concerned. Since you are into research now, he advised research scholars then, and I am quoting him here, that you should be able to handle those issues as such. The next point I would like to make is that you have paid for this particular course, and consequently you would but naturally be required to seek the value of the money that you have paid for this particular course. Having said that, I would also say that you will have to earn your credits rather than we giving you the credits as such. There was an issue regarding eligibility as far as online coursework was concerned. There were some personal calls to me that whether this coursework is going to be considered as far as the regular coursework, etc. That question obviously has been solved now, that the VC himself saying that this definitely is a very innovative step that the SP College department has taken. And when I was going through the your registration periods as such, most of y'all have already completed more than 1 year as far as your registration is concerned. And technically the RR or the manual of rules says that you need to complete your coursework within 6 months. So we already are delayed, and as a result of that, we had finally convened a meeting, and we decided that okay, let us go online if we are not able to conduct it offline as such. Next point, that I have a list of points, and I would be covering them one by one as such. The next point is the syllabus. The syllabus, of course, is available in the guidelines as far as the PhD is concerned. The research methodology syllabus has been very much defined. However, subject-specific specialized issues are concerned. It says that we need to follow the syllabus which has been prescribed and devised by the Board of Studies of the respective subject. And to my knowledge, a committee has been formulated, and I believe that by the time we finish with our research methodology, that's the first part of it, we should be in a position to have in our hands the the syllabus for the core subject, that is geography as such. Going back to the basics, that the requirement of a coursework needs to be completed within 6 months from your registration. I would say that we have, and we will, and most of the students also are new. I would say that we are going to keep this at a very base level as such. I'm not saying basic, but we are going to keep it at a base level, because I understand that many participants are actually doing a lot of advanced research, and they have done a lot of work before they have registered. But going by the guidelines, we are going to keep it at a basic level as such. The total number of credits that you would have to earn is 16 credits. That, if we translate it into number of contact hours, it comes to around 240 contact hours. And I'm going to give you a split of how we are going to utilize this contact hours as such. As far as resource persons are concerned, let me assure you that we are going to get the best in business people as far as giving you lectures are concerned as such. Majority of the resource persons. At the same time, of course, we need to train new I would say resource pool. So we are going to keep it majorly experts, and then of course a few who would be making their first presentations in front of you as well as such. And having said this, the types and quality of particularly the types of lecture delivery would differ, of course, on a human level as such. So we will all have to bear with that as such. The language, as far as the language of delivery is concerned, because geography comes under the science faculty in the SPPU, the resource persons have been instructed to conduct their sessions in English. Wherever required, obviously they've also told us that wherever required, the participants may request them to translate the same matter into Marathi, and as requirement of the particular candidate, and of course the skill of that particular resource person to shift to some other language also. Hindi, Marathi, and English is probably are the probable language that we are going to be speaking about as such. Again, as far as the sequencing of the topic is concerned, as far as something which is actually displayed in the schedule, and at that moment of time there needs to be some correction in the schedules, we will have to bear with that also as such. As far as a particular session is concerned, I would like to just highlight a few things to you all, that please do not disturb the flow of the lecture while a particular resource person is actually presenting his session as such, because that may lead to digression into some other topic, and which would and your question would not be of a particular interest for the other participants also. So I would request you all to note down your questions. Please note down your questions, and at the end of every session we have kept some dedicated time so that you can interact with that particular resource person as such. So you can interact later. Of course, they will be, as Saptarshi sir has said, that he is going to share his, he rather has allowed us to share his phone number and mail ID with you all as such. So according to the convenience of respective resource persons, we would also be looking into that aspect also. Then at the end of every lecture, okay, or every session for that particular day, we would be posting feedback forms, which are of Google forms. We expect you all to give your true feedback forms. Of course, your name would not be disclosed to them, to the teachers, but to enhance the quality of teaching, as far as further resource course, etc. is concerned, your feedback is going to be extremely necessary and important, and a fair feedback of the respective resource person is going to be very, very necessary as such. If you are aware, of course, all of you all are aware that you all have been allotted your respective credentials, which are necessary as far as not only joining the sessions are concerned, but eventually we would be coming up with assignments, and we are going to create a class called as PhD coursework in our Google Suite login as such. And you will have to post all your assignments and the required and the other requirements through your official credential, which has been provided to you, into the classroom, and through the classroom into the respective section of submission as such. Then Along with that, you are also known to the fact that you all have been divided into groups of 5. Actually, 5 groups of 5 and 4 groups of 5 and 1 group of 6 as such. Now, the purpose for devising these particular groups is the fact that each group will take up and of course we have consciously made an effort that the whole group is not from a particular college or a particular center as such. You need to interact amongst yourselves, and you have to have a blending together in an abstract, that's an online environment as such. But coming back to the main issue is that one particular group will be allotted one particular week. We would be passing you the biodata to the, you can decide on whether you need a group leader or you can work at all being at the same level as such. We will be passing you the information required. So the introduction of a particular session, the Thanksgiving or the vote of thanks of a particular session, the first session, the second sessions, of course, some sessions are going to be taken by some series is going to be taken by a single resource person, but all those days wherein you would be having 2 resource persons in one particular session as such, you have to allot the introduction and the vote of thanks to within your groups. You share it, and please wait for us to ask you all to do this and do that as such. We will just start the session, and of course the recording of the sessions will be started on our end. We are expecting that all of us, in fact, I feel that only 5 are not working. I see that around 21 of you all are from a working background, and we all do conduct programs in our respective colleges as such, and we are going to train the others also. So it's my appeal to all of you all that you blend in such a way that all of us get trained as far as presenting the introduction of a particular resource person is concerned, at the same time giving the vote of thanks, of course monitoring and moderating the interactions between the resource person and the candidate is concerned as such. It could be that a candidate would want to ask more and more questions, and this would leave lesser amount of time for the others to respond as such. So you need to decide who is going to moderate that particular session also, that okay, one has asked a question and the resource person has appreciably given an answer to them, and let us now have someone else to ask the next question as such. So that's about the credentials and formation of groups and so on and so forth is concerned. Then coming to the passing standards, I would say that passing standards stay by the university rules as such. You would be required to obtain 50% of the score for each of the assignments allotted to you. It's not going to be that you score 100% somewhere and you score 0% somewhere. Of course, in a hypothetical situation, but you'll have to give equal amount of weightage to all the assignments that we would be requiring you all to complete as such. So 50% of that is going to be required as such. And as far as the attendance is concerned, you would be required to attend 80% of all the sessions as such. As far as your absence from a particular day, a particular session is concerned, I would say personally that we have roped in very interesting, and as I earlier said, that best in business people for your so I personally would not like you all or would not want you all to miss out on any sessions particularly as such. But then in case of any emergency as such, okay, now emergencies are going to be of 2 types. One is that yes, you like for example, I did it for today, that I had to take my parents for their vaccination or Covishield vaccination as such. So something which is urgent, which you cannot shed off, but yes, you can schedule. You can just write an application to us that, okay, I would not be able to attend a particular session on a particular day as such. Then if it so happens then, or that on a particular day, suddenly some emergency crops up and you are not able to attend, please see that after you have come back from your emergency, please report that, okay, you don't have to state us what the reason was, but then that I was a bit busy with a particular aspect as such, and as a consequence, I was not able to attend the session on a particular day. You need to pass on an official application for us, so that we see it's all going to be in record as such. It's not that we are going to use it against you and so on and so forth as such. It's only that we need a record of these things, because all meetings are recorded and the attendance also is going to be recorded. So just in case the university asks us at some moment of time that, okay, why is it that on a particular day this doesn't happen, 99% this will not happen, but just in case, okay, that somebody asks us that, on a particular day so and so was not present, we would be in a position to definitely say that yes, he or she had applied for a leave and we have sanctioned the leave for that particular individual. Having said this, the leave will not exceed more than 20% of the total course. Let me tell you, you have to attend 80% of this, the whole session as such. Okay, then, yes, public holidays. I was coming to that. Thank you, Thakre ma'am. In fact, this was the immediately next point that I was coming to. We have scheduled these lectures on alternate days. So you would have Tuesday free, you will have Thursday free, and you will have Saturday free. At the same time, you're going to have Sundays as a free time also. That gives us very less time to actually handle other public holidays as such. And I'm going to make this statement basically because April, fortunately, if we are in college days, then it's fortunate. But because this is now in coursework, you may term it as unfortunate that we would not be allowing public holidays. In fact, today was supposed to be a public holiday. We had scheduled to start this on the 1st of April, but then I found it quite amusing that 1st of April is April Fool's Day, and I would not want to start coursework on 1st of April. So I shifted it to the second. Yeah, I'll come to the process of application of leave. As far as today's day was concerned, we had to shift it to 2nd of April, and then we realized that it was Good Friday. But then the Vice Chancellor said that no issues for me, I can always be there. So we said that if the Vice Chancellor could do it, okay, we have to give 3 hours of the 24 hours on a public holiday as such. But yes, again, if majority of the class wishes to have a leave on a particular day, please let us know. But let me tell you that at least as far as the present day to date's status is concerned, your lectures till 24th of April already have been scheduled. I will be putting up the schedule for the next week by tomorrow once I get it signed from the head of the departments, that's Professor Sunil Gaikwad as such. So public holidays, let us try to avoid them as such. Okay, then coming to the assessment part of it, of course, we have a few more other points, but then since the next point is based on the assessment as such, I would say that you would be required to maintain a notebook as such, okay, or with regards the sessions that are being conducted as such. And we may require you to upload the PDF format of the notebook that you have kept in Google Classroom as a part of your submission as such, because it's a requirement. And as far as your notebook maintenance is concerned, that is going to be given a significant amount of weightage as far as overall scaling is concerned as such. I've already said that as far as submissions are concerned, as far as assignments are concerned, we will be forming a class soon on this particular official account of the college, and you will have to register into that particular classroom using your credentials. And having done that, then the rest of the process as far as uploading your notebook is concerned, submitting your submissions and assignments are concerned, is going to be absolutely easy. And in case you have any difficulties, we are always there to help you as such. As you may see, the lectures, all the lectures are going to be recorded. We are posting letters to the respective resource persons that we would be recording these sessions as such. So most of them have said yes, because I have seen some presenters have reservations as far as they are recording their sessions are concerned. But we would be recording this. And once we download this, we will be uploading it on the YouTube channel, and possibly one of our accounts as such, and you could have an access to that. I will be posting the links of those YouTube channels, those sessions regularly as such. Now, why YouTube channel and why not the drive of this particular account as such? The reason being that when you access the drive, it consumes more of your data. it has been observed that when you watch the same thing on YouTube channel, it uses up lesser amount of your data as such. So we would be uploading it on one of our YouTube channels as such. Most probably I would be uploading it on my YouTube channel if nobody if no other source is available as such. Then as far as one more aspect about assessment is concerned is that we have also asked each of the resource persons to mail us 10 multiple choice questions a day before he is to present. So we would be having 10 questions with us ahead of that particular person presenting his session as such. So at the end of that particular session, by say late night around 8 o'clock, we would be developing a Google form, and we would be posting the link of that particular Google form. You'll have to answer you'll have to answer the MCQ session for that particular session, and you'll have to submit your preferences as your options as such. And we are trying to ask each and every resource person to come up with 10, because the reason is that our session is going to be around 1.5 hours, and we have dedicated half an hour for evaluation of that particular session. So every session is going to be counted as 2 contact hours as such, and that's why this becomes a necessary part of the whole issue. And as a consequence, I would request you all to submit your preferences on that particular day, because we are going to keep the options open for submissions for 24 hours. That means before the next session starts as such. So see that you don't delay your submissions beyond a particular moment of time as such. So that was about your Google form tests, MCQ tests as such. Another form of assessment is, of course, these are standard procedures which are followed in all the requirements of coursework as such, that you would be required to make a research proposal for financial aid. This research proposal, as far as possible, needs to be very near to your topic of PhD, because I don't want you all wasting time here and there. Okay, so if you are registered for a particular topic, my advice to you all would be that you make a proposal for financial aid with regards that. And in that context, we have kept a lecture of a very renowned geologist, Professor Pramod Hanamgon from Belgaum. He would be delivering his lecture on to how to apply for aid. In fact, it's not only Professor Hanamgon. I think Professor Nagrale from SNDT University is also going to speak on the same issue with a bit of twitch in that as such. So that's going to be one of another mode of assessment that we are going to go into. Then I've always been thinking about the fact that whether I could or rather we at our center could help you to complete a few things that you were supposed to be completing in a on a regular basis as such. And in that context, what we are going to do is, as far as the presentation part of assessment is concerned, what we plan is that there could possibly be, now you could advise me on that, and just in case you have any other points of view as such, that as far as your 6 monthly reports are concerned, okay, the university requires you to make a presentation of it. So I believe that in the course of time, that's the 3 to 4 months that we are going to meet, we could take up at least 2 6 monthly report submissions. Now this is going to be possible only if your research center head and your guide will be present as such. We will go ahead with the presentation, but unless and until they are present, okay, you would not be able to develop your report and upload it as far as your portal and requirement as far as the university portal is concerned. So I repeat again that we plan to take at least 2 of your 6 monthly report presentations, but you will have to coordinate with your research center guide, and you will have to coordinate with your guide also, and they will have to be present. They will have to be present for that particular session as such. That would help us to take up one assessment, and of course that would build up in our contact hours also as such. म्हणजे आपण मराठीत ज्याला कामात काम म्हणतो तसं होण्यासारखं आहे. There's one more thing that या कामात काम ज्या आपण ही उपाधी देतोय त्याच्याबद्दल, there's one more thing. I was speaking to the head of the department SPPU, Professor Ravindra Jaibhai, and he is proposing a conference in May. Okay, now this is very important. The time is very important. He is proposing a conference in May. That's somewhere mid-May. He is not very sure about the date, but he has proposed one as such. And immediately an idea struck to me that as far as this conference is concerned, they would be having a paper presentation session also. And I said that whether our participants could present their papers as such, because if you again go by the RR of PhD regulations as such, you are required to make a paper presentation in the due process as such. So, ज्याला आपण कामात काम पुन्हा म्हणूयात की you could be covering up on credits and contact hours within the course. At the same time, we could be presenting a paper, and you could be getting a certificate for that also. And Professor Jaibai has agreed that he would keep a separate session for us. So I would urge all of you all to start building around a particular paper so that we can have a session in that particular conference as such. Then something that we had done last time in 2016, that we had taken all the participants for a live viva in the university. I plan to request the coordinator of any upcoming viva in the future as far as the university is concerned, so that all of us can be available for that particular viva and have a hands-on view, I would rather say, as to how vivas normally take place. Of course, and let us pray that though these upcoming vivas would be online vivas, by the time you finish your research work and you present your thesis for in an open defense as such, let us pray and hope that we would be in an offline mode rather than in an online mode as such. असं काही मोठं नसतं त्याच्यामध्ये. As far as body language is concerned, as far as presentation is concerned, या सगळ्यांबद्दल आपण एक लेक्चर ठेवायचा निश्चित प्रयत्न करत आहोत असं. Fieldwork, our principal has referred to the importance of fieldwork, and of course the Honorable Vice Chancellor also referred to the importance of fieldwork. Professor Saptarshi also referred to the importance of fieldwork. Unfortunately, present conditions are restricting us from any type of fieldwork as such, but as the principal said that in future, at any point of time, if we are in a position to actually conduct a fieldwork as such, we would surely inform you as such. Let me, however, make it very, very clear that as far as the transportation and hospitality of participants is concerned, it is not on the house. You will have to contribute for the transportation and hospitality. As far as the resource persons who are going to travel along with us, that the research center will take care of. Okay, so if possible, sorry, I repeat, if possible, we are going to take up a fieldwork. And for the fieldwork, the participants will have to contribute as far as the transportation and hospitality is concerned for themselves. The rest of the things will be taken care of as far as the research center is concerned as such. Now, coming to a few of technical things as such. Now, what do I mean when I'm saying about these technical things as such? Issues like netpack, issues like loss of power at your end, at the center end, at the participant level, at the resource person level. We will have to, like it is always said nowadays, that this is a new normal that we'll have to adjust to, and adjustment has become the core thing as far as teachers are doing nowadays as such. So we'll have to adjust with that, but as far as possible, we will try to maintain a decor as such. I've already said that as far as your certificate, your certificates are concerned, we are trying to print it digital, and we will be attaching your photos onto that also. So having said that, I would request you all that if any one of you all wants to change the photographs at some point of time, I will open up the Google Drive for your editing your forms as such. And of course, there are a few additions that need to be made, and we are going to inform you about those also. So all this will be taken care of in a couple of weeks, and we'll announce the date on which we will be opening the forms for edition also, so we can take up those editions also. Most of the things are being referred to. A few more things that I would like to request you all is, if you want a repeat of a particular resource person, if you have any additional requirements, of course, हे सुरुवातीला होणार नाही, but as we proceed with this, coursework, there could be a specific requirement as such. One specific requirement is how to handle Microsoft, that's the Word, the Excel and the PPT as such. PPT, of course, is going to be required at a later stage, but giving the fact that we would be presenting in the conference being organized at the university in May, handling PPT would also be an important part. So we are trying to come up with a session on all these three, how to handle these things. There is one confusion in my mind, that because we have a blend of new and old students, then there is another, I would say, a blend of some students from urban background and some students from rural background. But as I said, that we are going to keep it at basic levels. And one tool that we are normally using these days is for map making is GIS. So I would request you all to think about what level of GIS training you would be wanting as such. And if you are very clear about what you want as a group, I would make arrangements for a session with respect to your basic and core requirements as far as GIS is concerned. If you want a repeat session, if you want any additional requirements, please let us know. We will try to add them for you as such. Then I plan to have a meeting at the end of Friday session. Let us have a meeting of around 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that, at the end of every week, where we can actually interact between each other and let us know what is an outcome. Of course, you are going to give your feedbacks also, but anything that you would like to mention about has been passing by. And of course, I will be discussing the coming up lectures for the next week as such. And in that case, any specific requirements, anything you have missed on, any assignment you want me to extend the deadline, etc. Or you could speak about anything serious coming about. Say, for example, now most of you all are teachers, and the university comes up with your requirement for MCQ, etc. as such. And such topics of discussion which are out of the syllabus can obviously be taken up. And I plan to have a session, say around 6 to 6:15 every Friday as such. Let me know your views on that as such. Now, since this is a 16 credit course and we need to be in contact for 20 to 40 hours as such, we have arranged for around 25% of the whole 20 to 40 coursework to be as a part of your training. Half of it is going to be in research methodology, and of course the other half is going to be advanced core requirements as such. And having said that, the whole issue about the rest of the things is that after you finish the extensive theory lectures as such, you are supposed to be going back in the sense this is in an offline mode, since you are in an online mode presently. The whole of the state is in an online mode as such. In that case, you are supposed to go back to your research guide or research supervisor, and you're supposed to be working on these things in the sense making of a paper, making of a financial project as such, and a few more things that I would be coming up as well. I will so we are going to try and adjust all these 240 contact hours on a very elaborate scale as such. The 2016 coursework we took was for a total of 20 credit points as such. This is based on 16 credit. Now, if we convert it into marks as such, 16 course of 16 credit course comes to around 400 marks as such. And having said that, okay, the various things that we have in plan for you all is that your attendance is going to be one thing on which you are going to be evaluated on. Your workbook, okay, in the sense your notebook or workbook, whatever you may be calling it, maintaining a workbook is a necessity as such. Just for as a matter of fact, you'll see that I had brought this workbook that we had got submitted in our last I don't know, but this is a workbook by Mr. Tushar Ghorpade, who of course has completed his PhD very recently as such. And he, because of course that was in an offline mode, he has of course listed the number of lectures that were happening, and of course this became very helpful for me, so that I could know what were this. And of course it's not only this, you'll see that he has of course used notes of different sessions, and he has made a very interesting and important noting in this whole notebook as such. So notebook is going to be an important part. Then assignments. Your assignments are going to be dealt in two sections. As far as your assignments are concerned, the submission of an assignment is important, and of course presentation of an assignment is also equally, but the major part is going to be the submission of it. I propose to divide your assignments into two sections, one assignment on physical geography and one assignment on human geography as such. You can start thinking on the topics on which possibly you would be taking up your assignments as such. How the assignments are to be made, when are they supposed to be submitted? Don't worry about these things right away. The first month of April is going to be all about learning. Submissions will start only beyond the end of April as such. Okay, then I've already spoken about paper presentation. I've spoken about feedback, queries, weightage as such. I've spoken about Google Form tests as such. You'll have to respond to those tests also. And possibly final point is that yeah, there is one more clause before I conclude this. There is one more clause that you are supposed to be making a paper publication also. In case, just in case you all of you all agree that okay, let us have a paper publication also towards the end of the course. Towards the end of the course, say last month or so, we could compile all your research papers as such, and let us try and get it published through some referred or listed UGC listed journal as such. That could be helpful to you also. Of course, let me make it very clear that the publication cost will have to be borne by the participant as such. This is not included in your course fee as such. Just give it a thought and let us see if that could be possible for us as such. That is all on my side. For the next, after I conclude my session, I would be happy to address to any of the queries in case you have your queries as such. If you have any innovative ideas, you can let me know. We can think on it and help you with that also. Having said this, all the basic formalities of online, okay, आता काही बेसिक गोष्टी मला सांगायची गरज नाही की आपण जेव्हा बोलत असतो तेव्हा आपला कॅमेरा ऑफ पाहिजे, बाकीच्या session चालू असेल, in case of a session is on, see that your mics are off, see that your videos are off, and you switch it on in an on mode only when the resource person asks you to switch it on, the audio and the video as such. See that you don't use slang language, see that you don't put up slang comments on it. All the the natural rules that we need to, that one needs to adhere to when we are on an online mode will obviously be applicable to all the participants and all the groups also as such. I think I have covered most of this. I'll just give you a split up of how we are placed presently. We have around 26 participants in all, and of these I would say 5 are from a non-teaching background, rest 21 are teaching somewhere as such. If you want me to give you a spatial split up, I would say that 6 of them are from the Nashik region, split into Nashik and Manmad as such. 4 students are from the Nagar district as such, split into I think they are from Sangamner and other parts as such. 9 students are from Pune. Many of them are from the S.P.College. 1 participant is from Modern College, 1 participant is from MIT, 1 participant is from D.Y. Patil, and I believe 1 participant is from the university also as such. We have 2 participants beyond the boundaries of Maharashtra also. 1 participant is from Haryana and 1 participant is from Murshidabad. They are doing their PhDs in the centers within the affiliation of the SPPU. That's the split. There was a lot of interesting information when I went through the analysis of the whole analysis of, so to say, your responses as such. I was going to make it on a lighter note, but in spite of the fact that we kept on requesting them to leave a lot many, including our departmental head also, I was forced into making this particular session very formal as such. Initially, I did not want it to be absolutely formal as such, but anyway, now we are towards the end of it. We are free to discuss, and just in case you have any further queries which I need to take note of, let us have a discussion on that. Thank you very much for patiently listening to my presentation as such. Now, in case you have any queries, let us have it discussed across the table, or say across the board, instead of calling it across the table as such. Yeah, I'm waiting for your questions. You can unmute yourself and you can ask me your questions as such.
सर
हा,
आपल्या जी लिंक असेल ना लेक्चरची ती प्रत्येक वेळेस वेगळी असेल आणि अगोदर एक दिवस बिफोर किंवा त्या दिवशी टाकू ती एक सांगा.
Definitely. This is a very important announcement that I had missed on my part, that everyday link is going to be different. We are going to create a fresh link every day, which would be posted 15 minutes before the official scheduled time to start. So if we are going to start at 3 o'clock, the link will reach you, or we will post the link into the group at around 2:45, so that you have time to get fresh and join the session at around 3 o'clock. We will start the meeting at around 2:55. त्याच्या आधी तुम्ही म्हणाल सर मी येऊन गेलो पण तुमचंच चालू नव्हतं. The reason that I have asked you all to be punctual is की आपण सगळ्यांचाच वेळ वाचवूयात, की आम्ही अर्धा तास आधी सुरू करून ठेवली, काही स्टुडंट्स येऊन ऑलरेडी जॉईन झालेले तरी सुद्धा काही होत नाहीये. So to avoid all these things, let us be very punctual and let us not waste each other's time as such. That's again, we म्हटलं ना की all the ethics etc. to be adhered to. I would say this is another important ethics that I would plead and urge all of you all to follow, is that let us be on time. Let us be on time and save time. एक विद्यार्थी जर लेट झाला तर ऑब्व्हियसली what happens is ह्याचे 25 मिनिटं होणार आहे. तुम्ही 26वे विद्यार्थी आहात पण आपण बाकीच्यांचे 25 मिनिटं वाया घालवली आहेत. सो दॅट्स नियरली हाफ एन आवर of man hours wasted, in spite of the fact that otherwise you could say that काय प्रत्येकाचा एकच मिनिट तर गेलेला आहे. So that is a very important point that I had missed out. Thank you, Dawle sir, for yeah. I would like to introduce another thing that I forgot is that I would like to introduce our joint coordinator, Professor Ganesh Dawle, and he would be in charge of sessions on the day. Or rather, we would be sharing these sessions within us. So just in case I am not available on a particular day, Dawle sir would be, as far as possible, both of us are going to be present.
Yes.
But just in case there is some difficulty, I would do it on his behalf, or he would do it on my behalf as such. So, and of course, you can feel free to contact him also, just in case I am not reachable, or if he is not reachable, you could contact me also. Having said that, as far as possible, let us keep it formal. All your requirements and questions be please posted at the official group, WhatsApp group as such. Please don't, I would say, pester us by calling us or say messaging us on personal WhatsApp unless and until it tends and gets to be absolutely urgent as such. So that were a few additional things. Now I am again open to any questions you have on your side.
Sir, please announce the next group, next week group जो arrange करणार आहे सगळं.
Let us keep this open for them, sir. आपण उद्यापर्यंत थांबू. आपण असं करूयात की since Thakre madam has already started with the vote of thanks, her group will be in charge of all the requirements for the coming week. Is that fine, Thakre ma'am? Yes, Thakre ma'am, is she there?
Yes, she is there, but
okay, she might be busy. But then all others in the group will again note that the Thakre ma'am's group will be responsible for all the coordination, the introduction, and the vote of thanks of, and of course, as I said earlier, moderating all these sessions for tomorrow, for the coming week as such. Okay. So
Yes.
that's clear that Thackeray ma'am's group is going to be, we'll of course, today we are not in a position to, but we'll call these groups by colors, just like we have in schools, convent schools, we have this house, that house. So we'll call the groups by colors as such. And yes, Thackeray ma'am has joined once again. And
Yes, sir. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we were requesting your group to start with the introductions and the vote of thanks for the coming week as such. So is that fine with your group?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Okay, thank you very much. So Thackeray ma'am's group, I forget the color, but henceforth next week onwards we'll refer to them as individual groups of colors as such. So that's another thing. Thank you, Dawle sir, for that. Yeah. Any other issues? Dawle sir, I was just going to ask you one question that we had this comment in the chat box that what could be the procedure to apply for a leave. So what do you think we can do?
Okay. We prepare, sir. We will prepare a Google form
format. Okay, yeah, that can be done. We'll be preparing a Google form, which would have only two to four things: your name and other details, and of course that you would be
reason behind.
The reason behind it and the days for which you would be asking a leave for. Please remember that if you are going on leave, the completion of the notebook, etc., is going to be absolutely the responsibility of the respective candidate only.
Yes. We will share the group link and then they fill it.
Yeah, they can use that as such. Yeah, Vijay Sonane had a query.
Yes.
सर समजा टेक्निकल सेशन मध्ये कधी कधी रेंजचा प्रॉब्लेम येतो. आता आम्ही ग्रामीण भागातले म्हणून बघतो, त्यावेळेस फक्त एखाद दिवशी ऍडजस्टमेंट म्हणजे विदाऊट लिव्ह आम्ही जॉईनच झालो नाही. कधी कधी असं होऊ शकतं. फक्त त्या गोष्टी
मी म्हंटल ना की काही अर्जन्सी जी म्हटली मी, काही विचित्र अर्जन्सी आपण जी म्हटली, त्याच्यात हे सुद्धा येऊ शकतं की त्या दिवशी बाबा एखाद्याचं नेटवर्क एकदमच डाऊन असेल, BSNL असेल, अजून कोणी असेल, एकदमच डाऊन असेल, पण मात्र हे रेग्युलर होता कामा नये. वी कॅन अंडरस्टँड की एखाद्या वेळेस एक्सक्लुझिव्ह किंवा एक्सेप्शनल केसेस मध्ये हे होईल, पण हे रोजच व्हायला लागलं तर मग आपल्याला वेगळा विचार करावा लागेल. आय वुड रादर से.
मी एक सांगू का सर?
हा सर.
जरी समजा असा काही प्रॉब्लेम आला ना, तरी त्या कॅन्डिडेटनी दुसऱ्या दिवशी तो गुगल फॉर्म भरून द्यायचा की बाबा इंटरनेट नसल्यामुळं त्याच्या मेलवरून जर तो आपल्याला आला तर काहीच अडचण नाही.
डेफिनेटली
आपल्याकडे डेटा राहील. त्यांचा इश्यू होता म्हणून त्यांना जॉईन होता नाही आलं, बस.
ऍब्सोल्युट.
दुसऱ्या दिवशी द्या भरून, दुसऱ्या दिवशी द्या की बाबा काल मला याच्यामुळे जॉईन होता नाही आलं.
येस.
म्हणजे मग आपल्याकडे डेटा राहील.
सर ओके वाटतंय तुम्हाला?
ओके सर, ओके, काहीच प्रॉब्लेम
नाही. ओके, थँक्यू. या, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
गुड इव्हनिंग सर.
देवीदास सोनावण्यांना प्रश्न आहे. सगळ्या सोनावण्यांना प्रश्न पडतायत. ओके.
Yes sir, actually I posted the question in chat box that what will be the approximate duration of coursework, sir?
वी आर प्लॅनिंग इट. आता आपण तुमच्याकडनं मुद्दामच ते लिहून घेतलेलं आहे की आता कसं सगळं एव्हरीथिंग इज अनप्रेडिक्टेबल, की आता पुण्यात आम्ही पाहतोय की थोडस सगळेच निर्बंध हे जे आहेत हे थोडेसे कडक करण्यात येत आहेत आणि त्याच्यामुळेच आपण आम्हाला आमच्या इनफॅक्ट मी तुमच्याशी शेअर करेन की आमच्या फॅकल्टीचा जो ग्रुप आहे त्याच्यामध्ये मी आपलं जे राईटअप होता हा टाकला. त्याच्यामध्ये एका मॅडमनी प्रश्न विचारला होता की सर हा तुमचा कोर्स संपणार कधी आहे? तर as far as possible we will try to finish it off in 3.5 months. 3.5 महिन्यामध्ये आता माझं प्लॅनिंग आहे की हे निश्चित संपेल. जस्ट इन केस सगळं बंद झालं असं तसं, आता ऑनलाईनवर आपल्याला असा प्रॉब्लेम येणार नाही, पण आलाच तर मग इन एक्सेप्शनल 99.99% हे होणार नाही. आणि ओनली 0.01% मध्ये हा 3.5 महिन्याच्या पुढे जाईल. नाहीतर आपण शक्यतो हा 3.5 महिन्याच्या आत संपवायचा निश्चित प्रयत्न करणार आहोत. मुळे सरांचा प्रश्न आहे का? पहिलं देवीदास सोनावणे सर, तुम्हाला ही क्वेरी सॉल्व्ह झाली का तुमची?
येस सर, थँक्यू.
ओके. मुळे सरांचा काही प्रश्न आहे का आता?
हा सर, व्हॉट अबाउट जी सूट आयडी?
जी सूट आयडी सरांनी टाकलेले आहेत. ढवळे सर, आपण सगळ्यांचे जनरेट केलेले
दिले ना, 26 जणांचे दिले आपण बरोबर.
नाव जी सूट आयडी you will have to register. Davle sir will please explain the process of registering for the G Suite account as such. मराठीत सांगितलं तरी चालेल सर.
हो नाही काय अडचण नाही. जो आपला जी सूट आयडी दिलेला आहे आता जर तुम्ही मोबाईल वरून कनेक्ट होत असाल तर तुमचा ऑलरेडी जो आधीचा जीमेल आयडी आहे तुमचा पर्सनल तसाच हा सुद्धा जीमेल आयडी तुमच्या मोबाईल वरती तुम्ही हे करून ठेवा त्याचे लॉग इन करून ठेवा आणि ज्यावेळेस तुम्हाला ही मीटिंग अटेंड करायची आहे त्यावेळेस तो ऑलवेज तुम्हाला विचारेल की कोणत्या मेलवरून तुम्हाला लॉग इन करायचंय तुमचा जीमेलचा की तुमचा आता दिलेला आपला जी सूट आयडीचा तर त्यावेळेस तुम्ही तो तुमचा जो आता दिलेला आहे त्याच्यावरून लॉग इन करायचंय रेग्युलर तुमच्या जीमेल आयडी वरून करायचं नाही त्यामुळे जर तुम्ही मोबाईलवरून करणार असाल तर तो तुमच्या मोबाईलवरती अपलोड करून ठेवा म्हणजे एका वेळेस आपल्याला 3 ते 4 म्हणजे भरपूर सारे ऍड करता येतात जीमेलचे आयडी तर ते तुम्ही ऍड करून ठेवा म्हणजे प्रत्येक वेळेस तुम्हाला लॉग इन करण्याची गरज पडणार नाही समजा तरी सुद्धा जर जॉईन होत नसेल तर एक सिंपल गोष्ट करायची की तुमचा मोबाईल रिस्टार्ट करायचा कारण आता बरेच वेळेस आता मुलं ज्यावेळेस आम्ही लेक्चर घेतो त्यावेळेस बेसिक मुलांना हा प्रॉब्लेम येतो की जॉईन होत नाही कधी कधी आपण स्विच करता वेळेस ते कनेक्टिव्हिटी थोडीशी पुअर होते आणि सो दॅट्स वाय यू स्विच ऑफ युअर मोबाईल म्हणजे स्विच ऑफ करून रिस्टार्ट करा किंवा स्विच ऑफ करा परत ऑन करा त्यावेळेस तो बरोबर तुम्हाला तुमचा लॉग इन झालेलं दिसेल मला वाटतं फक्त मेन गोष्ट आहे की तुम्ही ते अपलोड करून ठेवा म्हणजे ऍड करून ठेवा जीमेल मध्ये तुमचा हा जी सूट आयडी आणि जर
हा सर हा बोला सर
जर मला वाटतं आय थिंक सगळ्यांना आपण सगळ्यांचे जनरेट केलेले आहेत फक्त मिथिलेश सरांचा राहिला होता तर तो पण मी जनरेट करून दिलाय जरी कुणाचा राहिला असेल तरी मला सांगा तर ते मी पाहतो मग
सर माझाही करून द्याल का
तुमचा चालू नाही का सर मॅडम
माझं त्याच्यामध्ये पासवर्ड मध्ये प्रॉब्लेम येतोय सर ते पासवर्ड बदलल्यामुळे ते आता होत नाही
रिसेट करून देतो तुम्हाला पासवर्ड मी लगेच
सर माझा एक प्रश्न होता
नाही नवीनच द्या सर प्लीज
अहो ते तसं डिलीट करण्यापेक्षा आहे ना ऐका ना मॅडम काय करू तुम्हाला मी रिसेट करून देतो ना पासवर्ड आणि तो तुम्ही वापरा आणि परत तुम्ही तुमचा स्वतःचा रिसेट करा ते कारण मग काय होतं तुम्हाला ते डिलीट केलं ना त्याला सस्पेंड करावा लागतो सस्पेंड केल्यानंतर एक 10-15 दिवसाची प्रोसेस आहे त्याची आणि नंतर मग ते हे होतो ते देशपांडे मॅडमला परत सांगत बसावं लागतं सगळं तर त्यापेक्षा आहे ना मी तुम्हाला त्याचा रिसेट करून देतो माझ्याकडे फक्त आहे तुमचा तर मी रिसेट करून देतो तुम्ही तो वापरा
ओके सर ओके थँक्यू
सर माझा ऑलरेडी एक जीसूट आयडी कॉलेजचा आहे आमच्या कॉलेजचा प्लस आता हा पण आहे तर मग लॉग इन कधी कधी असं होईल की कोणत्या याच्यावरून लॉग इन होतोय हा जर इश्यू झाला तर मग अटेंडन्स कसं हे केलं जाईल
नाही सर आपल्या पुढे आहे ना एसपी कॉलेज लिहिलेलं आहे ना सर आपल्या पुढे एसपी कॉलेज library.in असं आहे तुमच्या कॉलेजचं तुमचं नाव असेल कॉलेजचं
हो
आपल्या कॉलेजचं नाव आहे ना एसपी कॉलेजचं नाव तुम्हाला सेपरेट दिसतं बघा तिथं म्हणजे समजा तुमचं असं असेल की मच्छिंद्र मुळे किंवा तुमचा असा आता वेगळा आहे काहीतरी मुळे मच्छिंद्र समथिंग नंबर असेल @SPCollege library.in असा आहे ना आपला त्यामुळे सिलेक्ट करताना तुम्ही एसपी कॉलेज करा सिंपल आहे ना त्यात काय एवढं वेगळं नाही असं कॉलेजचं नाव दिसतंय आपल्याला तिथं तुमचं असंच आहे ना कॉलेजचं नावच आहे तुमचं पण सर
हो सर
हा त्यामुळे काय अडचण नाही आणि जरी त्या कॉलेज त्याने जरी लॉग इन झाले तरी काय अडचण नाही आम्हाला लक्षात येईल तुमचं लॉग इन आहे फक्त आता प्रत्येक वेळेस नाही होईल तसं कारण आता नाव आहे त्यामुळे काय एवढं प्रॉब्लेम येणार नाही
हो सर थँक्यू सर
आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांच्या बाबतीत एक टेक्निकल इश्यू असा येतो की
गुड इव्हनिंग सर
म्हणतात
क्वेश्चन
हा या
गुड इव्हनिंग सर
गुड इव्हनिंग
Yeah, sir, sometimes in this month, I may be absent because here in West Bengal election is going on.
Yeah,
so I have election duty. So but I have to complete the assignments also. So the day when I will be absent, if I get the gist of that day's particular course, what has been taught, if I get the gist after that, then it will be benefit for me to prepare the assignment.
See assignments are basically going to be on the topics we are thinking that the assignments would be chosen by y'all at your end. As far as gist etc is concerned, every session, as I've already said, Every session is going to be recorded, it's going to be downloaded, and then we are going to upload it on YouTube. So all the links will be readily available on the YouTube for view. So you can just go through that and make due use of the sessions.
Okay, this link will be available in chat box, or I have to search in YouTube?
No. I will put it in our WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll put it in the WhatsApp group, and I'll take care that it will have a heading with regards that particular session, so on and so forth. So you can go to that specific session. If you click on that, it will take you to YouTube, and you'll start viewing that session as such.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
There's one more thing की आमच्या विद्यार्थ्यांच्या बाबतीत आम्ही पाहतो, अर्थात तुमच्या बाबतीत ते होईलच असं नाही, की कधी कधी घाईमध्ये जॉईन होतात, कधी कधी असं होतं की त्यांचा ओरिजिनल जीमेल अकाउंट जो आहे त्याच्यावरूनच लॉग इन व्हायचा प्रयत्न करतात, मग थोडंसं कन्फ्युजन होतं. ढवळे सरांनी सांगितलं तसं की आपण जेव्हा आपलं जीमेल अकाउंट उघडतो तेव्हा उजवीकडे स्विच अकाउंट असतं. स्विच अकाउंट मध्ये गेल्यावर तुम्ही ज्या ज्या वेगवेगळ्या अकाउंट्स वरनं रजिस्टर केलेलं आहे जीमेलला हे तुम्हाला दिसत असतं तिकडे, आणि त्या अनुषंगाने यू कुड ऑब्विसली स्विच. आता मगाशी मला वाटतं सोनावणे सर होते, कोण होतं मला माहित नाही, त्यांच्या कॉलेजचा पण जी सूट आहे, आपण त्यांना एक जी सूट आयडी देणार आहे, त्यांचं पर्सनल जीमेल अकाउंट असेल तर अशा वेळेस जेव्हा ते क्लिक करतील जीमेल तेव्हा त्यांचं पर्सनल जीमेल उघडतं. मग त्यांनी काय करायचं आहे तर चेंज अकाउंट मध्ये जायचंय किंवा मॅनेज अकाउंट मध्ये जायचंय किंवा शिफ्ट अकाउंट मध्ये जायचं, जे काही त्यांच्या इथे दिसत असेल ते तिथे क्लिक केल्यावर त्यांचे जेवढे जीमेलचे आयडीज असतील ते दिसतील. त्याप्रमाणे ते तिकडे सिलेक्ट करून ही कॅन जॉईन अ पर्टिक्युलर सेशन युजिंग द रिक्वायर्ड और द रिस्पेक्टिव्ह जीमेल आयडी एज सच. Yeah, any other questions you would have? अर्थात सगळे प्रश्न आज लगेच संपणार सुद्धा नाहीयेत. We could have new questions cropping up, and that's why I propose that Friday evening we could have a session of 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. केशव जाधव सर काहीतरी विचारू इच्छित आहेत का?
हा सर, एक प्रश्न असा होता की आपल्याला रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजी किंवा आपण थेअरीसाठी आपल्याला ज्या काही असाइनमेंट द्यायचे असते त्या संदर्भात आपल्याला स्टडी मटेरियल आपल्याला कसं करता येईल, मिळवता येईल?
स्टडी मटेरियल पहिली गोष्ट असं आहे की तुमच्या असाइनमेंट्स ज्या आहेत, रिटर्न असाइनमेंट्स, ह्या तुमच्या कोर्स मटेरियलवर, कोर्स सिलेबसवर नसतील. ते तुम्ही इंडिव्हिज्युअली चूज करू शकता. ते एक गोष्ट झाली. दुसरं जे आहे, मी मगाशी सुद्धा म्हटलं की हे सगळं आपण रेकॉर्ड करून ठेवतोय. तुम्ही ते रेकॉर्डिंग पुन्हा बघायचं आहे आणि तुम्ही त्याप्रमाणे तुमची गुगलची उत्तरं, गुगल MCQ ची उत्तरं देऊ शकता. आम्ही असं म्हणणार नाही की हे उघडा आणि आपण विद्यापीठासारखं करणार नाहीये. तुम्हाला ती उत्तरं सगळी तुमच्या बरोबरच राहतील. तुम्ही जेव्हा केव्हा तुम्हाला असं वाटेल की नाही मला हे थोडंसं अवघड वाटतं, आता नाही, तुम्ही क्विट व्हायची टेस्ट, बाहेर यायचं, तुम्ही परत तो व्हिडिओ पुन्हा पहा, जिथे तुम्हाला वाटतंय की इथे ते उत्तर असेल ते जरा अजून विस्तृत पहा, आणि मग तुम्ही सगळं हे करून उत्तर दिलीत तरी चालेल. आपण काही एकदम हार्ड अँड फास्ट ह्याच्यासारखं विद्यापीठाच्या परीक्षेसारखं ठेवणार नाही.
ओके सर, ओके.
या एनी मोर क्वेश्चन्स? मगाशी कोणीतरी अनम्यूट केलं होतं पण केशव सर विचारायला लागले, मग म्यूट झाले ते. मला वाटतं मुळे सरांचा काही प्रश्न होता का मगाशी?
Already I asked about sir that G shoot ID.
Okay. Yes.
And there is another question, sir. Could you
please go ahead.
Could you send sir coursework syllabus on our group? Or is it available on internet?
इट इज अवेलेबल. तुम्ही जर विद्यापीठाच्या साईटवर गेलात तर PhDच्या रूल्स अँड रेग्युलेशन जे आहेत त्याचं एक वेगळं डॉक्युमेंट आहे, ते तुम्ही डाउनलोड करू शकता. आपला जॉग्रफीचा जो सब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक सिलेबस आहे तो अजून फ्रेम होतोय, मी मगाशी सांगितलं, तो अजूनही फ्रेम होतोय. तो आपल्याला एक 15-20 दिवसात मिळण्याची शक्यता आहे. तो झाला की तो वेबसाईटवर पडायच्या आधी मी तुम्हाला देईलच, पण रिसर्च मेथोडॉलॉजीचा जो सिलेबस आहे दॅट इज अवेलेबल ऑन द नेट. मला जर ती फाईल सापडली तर आय विल अपलोड इट इन द ग्रुप ऑल्सो. बाकी पार्टिसिपंट्स पैकी ज्याच्याकडे ते रेडीली अवेलेबल असेल तर आपल्या बाकीच्या पार्टिसिपंट्सच्या माहिती करता तो आपल्या व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुपवर तुम्ही अपलोड केलात तरी चालेल.
Okay. I think some people nahi वाटत.
If the participants have no more questions for the day, let us call it a day. Thank you for responding to the fact that we extended beyond 20 minutes beyond the scheduled time, which we had initially proposed for. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed the day's session, particularly the talks by the Vice Chancellor. Yes, he spoke very pinpointedly as to how a research should be, and then of course a lighter way of looking at a research work was explained by Professor Saptarshi as such. Though you will not be questioned for this, I would say you would have a lot of takeaway from both the lectures as such, and that's why we are going to post the recording of the whole session on YouTube also.
लिंक
If
आपण
we don't have कुठली लिंक लिंक आपण शेअर करणार
सरांची नाही सप्तर्षी सरांची जी फीडबॅकची हे असेल ती आपण देऊ त्यांना संध्याकाळी.
The feedbacks for Saptarshi sir's lectures.
Sir फक्त
only Saptarshi sir. We will be sharing it later today as such. पुढच्या आठवड्याचं शेड्यूल उद्यापर्यंत तुम्हाला उद्या संध्याकाळपर्यंत येईल. लक्ष्मण शेंडगे, डू यू हॅव अ क्वेश्चन?
नो सर.
अच्छा, ते चुकून झालं वाटतं तुमचं रेज हँड. ठीक आहे. So thank you very much. Let us be together and let us finish this formality of completing coursework in the due course of time. मी 3.5 महिने जनरल म्हणतोय, आपला आधी सुद्धा संपू शकतो. Depends on the conditions as such. Thank you very much. That's all for this week. That's all for today. Have a good weekend and let us meet on Monday. Thank you very much. You can leave the meeting.
Thank you.
Sir, recording बंद करा.